Wes, thanks so much. You're hanging out with us on ACC Huddle Scoreboard, counting you down to the next game here on ACC Network. Another battle between two teams from North Carolina. We've got UNC and NC State going head-to-head. CJ Bailey with over 5,000 passing yards through just 2 years, second most, trailing only Phillip Rivers, who, played at the NFL level. This guy knows a thing or two about winning at the NFL level, still trying to figure out how to end this season on a high note. Bill Belichick talking there with Dave Doran before the game. We'll get to that game in just a little while, but right now we say hello from inside our studios alongside the Hall of Famer, Coach Mark Richt, Tom Lugan, Bill Bryce Love, Kelsey Riggs-Cuff. It is good to be with you. Meanwhile, Dave Doran, we'll see what he is able to do with his team tonight, taking on the rivals from North Carolina, about 7 minutes away right here on ACC Network. We'll have a preview.
Got to be nice to those officials before the game.
You got to get on their good side.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mean what I'm about to say in 2 hours. Don't worry about it. Welcome back in. The 115th meeting between North Carolina and NC State coming your way in just a couple minutes right here on ACC Network. Carter-Finley looks like it is ready for the final home game of the season. Bryce, what you got your eye on?
Well, State has owned this rivalry the past couple years, and they're playing at Carter-Finley. That's a tough place to play. Expecting NC State to put up some points, man. UNC secondary has been a little bit questionable.
If they don't turn the ball over, I think NC State wins the football game. It'll be very interesting to see how NC State up front handles the defensive front for North Carolina.
Yeah, that's the one part of the North Carolina team that sparked their renaissance, so to speak. That was their defensive line. It's going to be tough to handle.
Wolfpack have won each of the last 4 meetings. We'll see what is in store in this North Carolina showdown tonight. We send it over to Chris Cotter, Max Brown, and Ashley Stroline on the call. We'll see you at that.
You're watching NCAA football presented by ServPro. There's a little bit of a nip in the air here tonight in Raleigh, North Carolina, but that hadn't kept the Wolfpack at bay. Packing Carter-Finley Stadium as they welcome their neighbors from up the road in Chapel Hill. It's the North Carolina Tar Heels facing off against the NC State Wolfpack tonight. Hello, everybody. Alongside Max Brown, I'm Chris Cotter, and we've seen a lot of teams today playing for spots in championship games, playing for a spot in the playoff. Neither one of these two is playing for one of those, but still a lot on the line and a lot to play for tonight.
Yeah, the best part about rivalry week is you can totally change the perception of your season with one win, and that's definitely the case here. Dave Doran knows that very well. He's 7-3 in the last 10 matchups. Bill Belichick, no stranger to big games, but his first crack at this rivalry.
Yeah, and for Bill Belichick, obviously he made his bones on the defensive side of the ball, and that's the strength of this Tar Heel team right here. And one of the things they do is they really get after the quarterback well.
And they have a special pass rusher, Melkart Abujade, the transfer from Delaware, walked on there. Bill gets the job. He's a quick addition, and they're glad he's on board. Over the past 4 games, has 8.5 sacks. This defensive line for North Carolina is the strength of this team. If they're going to win this game, that group's got to show up.
And for NC State, if you got a nickname like Hollywood, you better be good, and Hollywood Smothers is real good.
And he's got the profile picture right there to back it up. Leads the ACC in rushing yards per game, 90.1. Every coach we've talked to about Smothers always mentions his contact balance. Yards after catch, able to get it done there. Just 93 yards from eclipsing the 1,000 mark. They're looking to get him that today.
And when quarterback CJ Bailey looks to the air, he hits a lot of different receivers, but his main receiver is a tight end, Justin Jolie.
And they proved that on 4th and 6 versus Florida State a week ago. 4th and 6, they threw a jump ball to Jolie. He went up and got the thing. He was an athletic tight end a year ago for NC State. This year has molded into the complete package. No offense in the ACC uses the tight end position more than NC State. Jolie's their guy.
For more on this great rivalry, let's send you down to the field. The third member of our crew is standing by, Ashley Stroline.
Well, thanks, Chris. Tonight, the Wolfpack and the Tar Heels have the next chapter of this rivalry. That's the 115th time they're going to go head-to-head. This one dates all the way back to 1894. The Heels own this overall, but as of late, it's been all about the pack. They've won 4 straight, and a win tonight would tie their longest streak in this series at 5. Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick says he knows this isn't just another game. These types of weeks are intense, and playing an opponent just down the street adds even more to it. State head coach Dave Doran agrees with that. He says there's more motivation, practices have more energy, and he actually said to us, Max and Chris, when we talked to him, that he feels his record against this rival has helped extend his tenure here in Raleigh. So a big-time message there from Doran and a big-time statement they want to make tonight, and they'll do it in front of a sellout crowd. These two teams going head-to-head here at Carter-Finley Stadium. This marks the 27th straight sellout for Wolfpack football. That is the longest streak in school history.
Yeah, appreciate that, Ashley. We've got a great atmosphere tonight, no question about it. For Dave Doran, as Ashley was mentioning, a lot of success against North Carolina. 8-4 is his overall record here in his 13th season. And the Wolfpack are going bowling again. 6 straight bowl-eligible seasons for NC State and for North Carolina in Bill Belichick's first year. With a win, the best they can do is get to 5-7 on this season. But as you were saying, Max, that 5th win tonight could go a long way in building some momentum in the offseason.
Yeah, Ashley said it, but I thought it was refreshing. Dave Doran in his press conference was saying, hey, if I didn't have the record I had against our arch rival, I might not still have a job. He was cutting right to the chase. It's 2 head coaches that are cut from the same cloth, 2 no-nonsense guys, except obviously in different areas of building or different stages of building this program. Dave Doran, one of the longest tenured head coaches in college football. Bill Belichick, one of the best coaches this game's ever seen, but obviously his first year leading this ACC program.
The Heels in all white with their Carolina blue helmets. NC State with the red jerseys and white helmets will be on offense first as Reese Verhoff sends it out of the back of the end zone. It'll be an opportunity to see not only Hollywood Smothers and Justin Jolie, who we talked about in the open, but also this quarterback, C.J. Bailey, the sophomore.
And it looks like some Tar Heels are already chirping at him. He's excited to play in this rivalry game. Very efficient this year, which has been the big growth for him. C.J. Bailey last year was a true freshman, started the back half of the season when Grayson McCall went down with an injury. At that point, he's just trying to keep up. This year, year 2, he's the leader of this offense, leader of the team. He has all the tools to not only be a special player in this game, but play football for a very long time.
Smothers opens the game in the backfield with Bailey. Smothers gets the carry. Crashes through that defensive front. C.J. Mims on the tackle, but Smothers picks up 5.
He's the guy they're going to want to get going, and vice versa on the other side of the ball. North Carolina, I'd imagine they're going to try to pack the box, force C.J. Bailey to beat him with his right arm because Smothers has been so effective in ACC play this year.
Bailey to throw, moves the pocket. Has a receiver wide open near midfield. Grimes makes the catch. Wesley Grimes, who began his career at Wake Forest before transferring here down the road a bit to NC State, gives the Wolfpack a first down near midfield.
It's an excellent route, too. He broke off the comeback route right by the sideline. Defensive back kept running as if it was a vertical route. Excellent first completion, getting your quarterback in rhythm early.
Hollywood, no room to run on the right side, gets stuffed behind the line of scrimmage, and a whole gaggle of North Carolina tacklers drop him for a loss.
It's a great pursuit by Andrew Simpson, the inside linebacker for North Carolina. You see number 2 right there. He's tracking where Smothers is, and at that point, he's basically playing running back. Works front side, recognizes that Hollywood's going to spin back around, and Andrew Simpson's right there in the middle. This is a linebacker unit for North Carolina. They're going to rotate 3 guys. Simpson's very productive for them.
2nd down and 11. They'll move Hollywood out. Design quarterback draw. Bailey into North Carolina territory. Gavin Gibson on the tackle, but it'll bring up 3rd and about 7.
We said in the open, Justin Jolie for North Carolina State. He's their guy on 3rd and long. Andrew Simpson there, linebacker. You got Simpson. Kamari House leads the team, sitting next to him, number 7. And then they also have Bayer, number 4, rotate in. Productive middle linebackers. They're going to have to be that way on 3rd down. Look for them to target Justin Jolie, the tight end in motion there.
30 sacks on the year for this North Carolina defense. They're bringing 4. So Bailey had time, and he was able to find his receiver. That was Hollywood out of the backfield, but he's going to be short of the first down by a couple.
You're right on that fringe area of, if you're Dave Doran, do you try to pin North Carolina deep, knowing they have not the strongest offense, or in a rivalry game with the fans hooting and hollering?
Look at the beef they're bringing in.
set the tone. They were 2 for 2 on 4th downs a week ago. Both led to touchdowns, one of which was a touchdown to Jolie. Dave Doran trying to set the tone here.
Bringing in Will Wilson at quarterback. He's the short yardage specialist. They got Cody Hardy as well, the blocking tight end, inside of 5 seconds on the play clock. They're going to get it. That's why they bring in Will Wilson.
So much is made about Will Wilson's strength. Squats 600 pounds. Right here, it's great speed. He gets the edge, and that's Kamari House, an athletic linebacker. He beats him to the sideline. Great job picking up that first down.
Holding that football like he was going to throw it. I don't think there was any intention of throwing that ball. He was looking for the yard marker, and he found it. Bailey back in with Smothers. Smothers on the carry. Again, can't find very much room to run. Falls forward for a yard, and Andrew Simpson is there on the tackle.
Andrew Simpson alongside Tyler Thompson, 40, the defensive end. It's a great job by Thompson, knifing under that. And this is going to be the key to success for North Carolina today. Got to bottle up Hollywood Smothers. Can't get them going. We had Pitt, North Carolina State a few weeks ago, and Pitt did a good job of that, but there were a couple breakaway runs. Steve Belichick, North Carolina's defensive coordinator, trying to keep Smothers intact.
Bailey to throw. Good job defensively. That was Thaddeus Dixon making the play, preventing Terrell Anderson from bringing it in, and it's 3rd and long.
Tar Heel fans are going to be glad to see Dixon. He was banged up really since the middle of October. He came with Steve Belichick from the University of Washington. Dixon and House, 2 productive players on this defense. They love Thaddeus Dixon's ability in man coverage to lock down guys on the outside.
3rd down and long. NC State has brought in Duke Scott to spell Smothers on this 3rd down. Again, play clock inside of 5. Bailey to throw. Scott stays in for protection. Bailey's got some room to run if he wants to use it, and he does. And he picks up the 1st down.
Third and long. North Carolina does quarterback spy Bailey with Kamari House. Bailey's speed just beats him to the edge. You can see House there is trying to run him down. It's the right call. It's just C.J. Bailey being a better athlete. That's the difficulty when you face C.J. Bailey. He can win a game from the pocket, and his legs don't have to be a factor. That being said, when things break down, his legs are very much something you have to be wary of defensively.
Bailey to throw again. Pressure up the middle. Going to the end zone. Knocked away at the last second, but a flag comes out. Noah Rogers was the intended receiver, and Gavin Gibson was in coverage. You also had Marcus Allen, cornerback out of Marietta, Georgia. Let's take a listen to Nate Black. Marcus Allen, the guilty party. And this drive continues with yet another 1st down for NC State.
Allen's playing that patented outside leverage, cover 3 that Steve Belichick loves, filtering guys in towards the inside. At first glance, I didn't feel like he was tugging or grabbing much at all.
Bailey to throw. And he overshoots his intended receiver on the play. Kamari House put the pressure on, and Anderson was there, but throw was way too high.
It's a receiver unit. They're using a lot of receivers. C.J. Bailey has no problem spreading the rock around. If you do have one guy that is the lead guy, though, Anderson's that guy. True sophomore, stepped into that lead role for the Wolfpack.
7 different receivers on this team have at least 20 catches on the season. Now 2nd down and 10 for Bailey. He'll throw again. Pressure up the middle. Good screen. Grimes, touchdown Wolfpack.
It's an excellent call by Kurt Roper, NC State's offensive coordinator. The Tar Heels elect to bring some linebacker pressure. Well, the best thing to combat that As you're seeing linebackers knife towards the middle, as a screen behind it. Excellent job by the offensive line, getting out ahead of them. Seeing the speed right there from Wesley Grimes. Lined up in the boundary, caught the rock, burst towards the pylon.
Canoa Vine set in for the try. And the senior from Rock Hill, South Carolina, splits the uprights. 11 plays, 75 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock, and NC State takes the opening kickoff, and they march down the field and put the first points on the board tonight in Raleigh.
NC State back on top. They really have a dynasty going there.
Nothing but elation for the NC State women. Title number 4.
Great scene during the break. North Carolina, or NC State head coach Dave Doran going out and thanking some staff members who are retiring this year. So right in the middle of a game, he took the time to do that. That's pretty cool. And as NC State Wolfpack up early 7-0 as Will Hardy takes his kick out beyond the 20. Crowd reacting to the dog, who goes out and retrieves the tee rather, brings it back out. Great crowd tonight. You know, this is our 14th game, 14th week of the season. This is the first game we've had that it's really been chilly.
It's the first game you're not making fun of me in the booth for wearing my puffer coat.
It's 65 degrees.
A little bit better.
Southern California kid.
Got Gio Lopez coming off his arguably best game a week ago. Very efficient as a passer. He's got to continue that today.
Heels try the middle of that NC State defense to no avail. Jackson Vick, nickelback, coming up and making the stop with a bunch of his teammates.
And I said North Carolina and Gio Lopez, at least passing-wise, coming off his best game. This NC State defense also coming off what they felt was like their best game last week, playing Florida State on a Friday night. Florida State's got a lot of weapons in that NC State defense. It had flashes and had great quarters, but that's really was 4 quarters of high-level defensive football by the Wolfpack.
Lopez will throw. As a receiver streaking down the right sideline, incomplete. There's Devon Marshall in coverage. Seems trying to get it to Vari Green. It's 3rd down and 10, just like that.
Devon Marshall, ACC Defensive Back of the Week for his defense on Deuce Robinson last week. Had 6 pass breakups in that game, picking up right where he left off. He made an impact the first drive of that game, too, with 3 pass breakups. Again, he's playing at a high level for them, man in that corner spot.
Goss is in the backfield with Lopez. He'll stay in the block. Receiver comes out of the break, makes the catch near the 1st down marker. But I believe he had to come back for the ball, so Paysour isn't going to get it. It's going to be 4th down.
Tight coverage again. Pretty good pass and catch. But if you're going to run that route, got to make sure that when you break down, you're going to be past the sticks. Seeing the arm strength, the accuracy by Lopez. Paysour's very much their deep threat, expecting him to go vertical. North Carolina's trying to catch NC State off guard with a little comeback there.
Good start for NC State, both offensively and defensively, as this defense forces the 3 and out. Tom McGinnis will punt it away. And Terrell Anderson awaits at his 23, makes the catch. And that's where NC State will start their 2nd offensive possession. Time now for Food Line, food for thought. And we talked about a couple of these guys on this North Carolina defense that transferred in with defensive coordinator Steve Belichick. And here's Thaddeus Dixon and Kamori House, big-time contributors.
It's the day and age of the transfer portal. When you hire a new coordinator or a new coach, can they bring some talent with them? They're glad to have Dixon back. We talked about it. He's been banged up for a month or so. Last week was his first game back. And then Kamori House, he's really that middle linebacker for him. Came both from Washington. Productive players. House especially tackles inside the box against Smothers, and Dixon out wide one-on-one with receivers.
Bailey keeping it. Got blockers on the edge for him. stays on his feet, and the flag comes out. Bailey picks up about 9. Let's check the marker. Right where the Tar Heel defender came up to try and make the initial hit on Bailey.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play, automatic, first down.
Caleb Koss, the guilty party. Bailey with 24 yards already on the ground on just 3 carries.
And it looked like Bailey was going towards the ground, and Koss got him at the end. We'll see here with the replay. Oh, he barely gets that face mask, then gets the shoulder pad. Man, that's tight. Bailey's leg so far through 2 drives, very much a factor in this game.
Officials want to make sure they get the spot right after marching off and marking off the penalty. Started off on the North Carolina 49. They correctly put it back on the NC State 49. Fresh set of downs for Bailey and company. Bailey looks to the sideline, changing the play, under 5 on the play clock. Bailey looking to go deep. Again, he's got room to run, and he's got 1 man to beat, and it could be a big play. Down inside the 40. Cost on the stop, but add another 12 to C.J. Bailey's night on the ground.
Bailey does an excellent job feeling that pocket, escaping, and knowing that the Tar Heels don't have a man for his legs. It's great coverage by North Carolina. No one's open down the field. They don't get into the trap of the trickery in the backfield. Bailey is just athletic and breaks the pocket.
Smothers fights for what he can, 4 yards on first down.
Big moment here for North Carolina. This is an offense that they're not built to win a shootout. So defensively, the Tar Heels have to come up big.
This is the strength versus strength in this matchup. NC State's offense versus North Carolina's defense. And so far, it's the Wolfpack getting the advantage. Bailey underneath. Has his receiver Jolie, and he's near the first down marker. He's going to get it. Safety Greg Smith in coverage. But like we talked about in the open, Bailey is spreading it around, finding all of his different receivers, including his tight end.
He's got a lot of weapons out there.
Smothers dancing to the outside, breaks a tackle, spins free inside the 25. That's a beautiful 4-yard run.
What a broken tackle, too. He bursts through the 8 gap, and Smothers knows that he's one more broken tackle for maybe that being 6 points. Greg Smith, the safety for North Carolina, hit him right at the line of scrimmage, but we said it in the open, Smothers' ability to break contact, break tackles, which isn't necessarily what you would think about, at least from afar. So much of, the concern maybe going into this year was his size and having to gain weight. Usually it's the bigger backs that naturally break tackles once they're hit. Smothers, even though he's not the biggest back, can shed defenders easily.
Duke Johnson's a bigger back. He's in the game now, takes the ball. Powers forward. You hear the Dukes from the crowd. Tyler Thompson making the stop 4 yards downfield. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. When Smothers was injured a few games back, Duke Johnson came in and filled in admirably. Again, NC State going with the short yardage package. They're bringing Will Wilson back in at quarterback, 10 in red.
And they love this package. We talked with Kurt Roper. They want to live in these situations. Obviously, 3rd and short is a situation any offense wants to live in, but especially NC State with this package. Haven't thrown a lot, though, but you get the sense it's only a matter of time.
Wilson outside, picks up the first down. Makai Bayer on the tackle, but Will Wilson, 6'1", 230 pounds, is a load for a true freshman.
And it's rare. I mean, in today's red shirt rule era where true freshmen can play 4 games and still maintain their red shirt. Will Wilson, I mean, he's had a big enough role where they knew preseason that this is going to be very much a factor in our offense, given how athletic and big and strong he is.
Bailey back in with Duke Scott. Scott on the carry. Patiently looks for a hole, finds one, and drags defenders, including Isaiah Johnson, for a couple of extra yards.
Duke Scott, very much the physical, old school back. Those are grimy yards right there. There's not much, but he's still able to get 6 yards on that rush, and that's one thing for North Carolina. Strength of their defense is that defensive line. They have 4 big defensive tackles they can rotate in. That's an area where the Tar Heels have to win that matchup if they're going to stay in this game.
Bailey to throw. Rogers can't handle it. The pass had a little bit of heat on it, and Rogers was coming in. Marcus Allen in coverage. Rogers is unhappy with himself, as he might have had a little bit of room to run, and he snagged that ball out of the air.
This is about the same area on the field. Similar situation where a week ago they isolated Justin Jolie versus Florida State, have him go one-on-one with a safetier corner. Try to have him win that matchup. You're just far enough, 3rd and 4, where they're going to keep C.J. Bailey in the game, threat to pass over Will Wilson.
Bailey rolling the pocket to the flat, hits Smothers, and he's hit immediately. Dropped by Thaddeus Dixon in coverage, and it'll bring up 4th down. Or will it? No, they've got the first. They were able to pick up the first. He was tackled right on the marker, and they'll move the stick, so it's 1st and goal. 11 first downs in the game for NC State, 0 for North Carolina to this point. They have owned this opening quarter, and the Tar Heels are on their heels right now, trying to keep them out of the end zone again.
And they're doing so by spreading the love around. C.J. Bailey getting a lot of different playmakers involved, like we saw in that graphic.
Bailey faking it to Smothers. In the back of the end zone, overshoots his intended target. That's Dante Daniels, backup tight end.
It's a nice play right there by Mel Carter-Finley, defensive end. We highlighted him in the open, how great of a pass rusher he is on that play. He hit the running back right away, was trying to block him, disrupted the timing on that rollout pass.
Wilson back in the game for NC State. What do you think about here? You may attempt to pass on the 8-yard line. What are you thinking?
I'm still running it. You've had success. Unless you have some trickery pass you can get to.
Nah, they're running it into the end zone. Not a whole lot of sorcery in that play. Just Wilson following 2 big old blockers into the hole and into the end zone.
The true freshman following the big boys up front, and Justin Jolie, the tight end, clearing the way. There's great push right in the interior of that offensive line for the Wolfpack, making that Wildcat quarterback touchdown run look real easy.
Vine set for the try. And he kicks it through. 12 plays, 76 yards. Dream season for the home folks here at Carter-Finley. Wilson finishes it off. 2 drives, 2 scores for the Pack.
ACC Primetime Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
Outside the Performing Arts Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Everybody getting into the holiday spirit here, Thanksgiving weekend. Temperatures dropping, making it feel a little bit more like the holidays. Had such a warm fall here in the southeast, the mid-Atlantic region. NC State, nothing warm about their start. It's been red hot, scoring on their first 2 possessions to take the early 14-point lead. Nick Kodachinsky on the kickoff. It's going to be an opportunity for North Carolina. Ben Hall, the big tailback, breaks free. Flag down behind the play as Hall takes it all the way into NC State territory. We'll go back and check the marker. Ben Hall just burst through there. His reaction might say it all.
During the return, holding, receiving team, number 45. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
That being a spot foul, that's going to negate that great return for a haul. Coach Belichick and the Heels with the ball when we come back. You're watching the ACC on ESPN. Carter-Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. Max Brown, Ashley Stroline, and Chris Cotter with you. It has been a dominant start for the NC State Wolfpack. Much to the delight of those dressed in red and white here tonight. Take a look at this so far as we get to the latter moments of this first quarter. Look at that domination right there by the Wolfpack. They've run 23 plays against just 3 for North Carolina, and this is a Heels' second offensive possession after a 3-and-out to start. June looking for running room. Finds a little bit of space, falls forward for the gain of 4 yards on first down.
Yeah, you don't want to say it's make or break in an offense is just second drive in the game, but man, the way the momentum is shifting, especially in a rivalry game, the Tar Heels have to get something going offensively on this drive.
The fake to June. Lopez looking to throw. Finds Ship. And he's able to pick up close to the first down. He gets it. They'll mark him out at the 31. Caden Fordham, one of the team captains of this NC State team, drove him out. That's a big first down for the Heels.
And I like the design, too, by offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens. He had Jordan Ship in that motion. Then he blocks the defensive end, then disengages, and no one's covering him. Nice design to ensure that your top receiver, Ship, gets a touch.
Lopez looking to run it himself. Shakes one tackler. Falls forward for a couple. Fordham again on the stop.
Similar to C.J. Bailey, Gio Lopez, you're not going to have a lot of designed runs per se, but his mobility is very much a factor. Seen it already in terms of North Carolina trying to move the pocket a little bit. If he breaks contain, his legs are enough of a weapon where, you know, it gives you concern if you're a defensive coordinator.
Inside of 2 minutes to play in this first quarter. Heels facing a 2nd down and 8. That's a good look at Lopez and June. Play clock all the way down. Lopez just gets it off. Pressure up the middle. Lopez trying to move his feet. He's in all kinds of trouble here. Avoids the sack and has a receiver downfield, and it's dropped by June. June, it looked like he wanted to look ahead because he had a lot of green grass in front of him, and he never brought it in.
They're going to get bailed out. Looks like it's roughing the passer late as Gio Lopez takes the grass from his face mask.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kean Sloan, looks like he doesn't quite believe it.
Yeah, Lopez breaks contain, slippery, we talked about it. Ooh, there's not a lot there at all.
I think the crowd agrees with you here at Carter-Finley.
On one side, North Carolina State gets a break that June dropped an easy catch that he probably would have ran for another 20, 25 yards. On the flip side, the Tar Heels get a break potentially on that roughing the passer call.
Let's see if the Heels can take advantage. Lopez again to pass, pressure up the middle. He avoids it initially, has a receiver inside the 40. Making the catch that time is Shamar Easter. Shamar Easter's a tight end, even though he looks more like a big receiver, doesn't he?
He does. Seen an accurate throw by Lopez. Nice job navigating the pocket, stepping up, but keeping his eyes downfield. Big thing in Lopez's game a week ago and why people were so excited is how efficient he was. Got to be accurate to be efficient. 77% completion a week ago.
Flag down is the big back Ben Hall. Crashes through the middle of that line. Flag on both sides of the line of scrimmage.
Legal formation. Offense. More than 4 players aligned in the backfield this time. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's an unforced error right there. That'll just kill you if you're a coach, isn't it?
Exactly. Just a mechanical thing. Too many guys lined up in the backfield, or not enough. Didn't catch the verbiage there. Regardless, you got to know in the personnel groupings and the schemes and whether or not you have subs. Everyone's got to know their job. Bill's probably saying, hey, so-and-so was on the ball. They're disagreeing with how the ref viewed that formation. Usually you don't see it. Usually it's black and white. Hey, someone was on or someone was off. Rarely do you see coaches argue over that call.
Again, play clock winding down. Hall smothered right at the line of scrimmage. Travali Price just engulfed him. And that's not easy to do when you're talking about 5'11", 235 Ben Hall.
We told you how good the Tar Heel defensive tackles are. Well, North Carolina State's right there as well with Price and Cleveland. Played a lot of football for this Wolfpack defense. Very strong at the point of attack.
Davian Goss has come in for North Carolina.
That is the end of the first quarter.
As the first quarter comes to an end. What a quarter it was for the NC State Wolfpack. Gio Lopez has this North Carolina team on the move, but they've got a hill to climb. Through one. NC State at home on senior night with a 2-touchdown lead over North Carolina. Santa Claus has delivered a 2-touchdown lead for the Wolfpack to start this game as we start the second quarter. Gio Lopez and North Carolina, though, on the move for the first time inside Wolfpack territory, but facing a 2nd and long. Lopez to throw. He can run, too, if he chooses to do so. Now he does. And he gets what he can. It's a pretty good pickup, making this 3rd down a lot easier.
Taking a page out of C.J. Bailey's book. Seen something similar in terms of breaking contain, picking up some yards. Nice job by the NC State secondary in coverage. Remember, this is a secondary for the Wolfpack that have been banged up all season long. Lost all 4 starters a year ago to either the NFL or the transfer portal. Had to replace those guys, and then they got banged up. They feel really good about their front 7, but back-end-wise have been tested injury bug-wise all season.
Crowd getting into it. Lopez having to bark out the play changes. Now he'll throw. Pocket collapsing. Finds a receiver. That's Ship. Picks up the first down. Flag comes out just at the very end of the play. I didn't see anything when Ship went out of bounds. It must have happened before the pass, I'm thinking.
The timing was so odd. It was almost as if it was like face mask timing, but of course it wasn't that. Ship ran out of bounds.
After further discussion, there is no foul for offensive pass interference.
So Nate Black clears it all up. That's what I was thinking. There was some sort of a pick or something downfield.
I think what they were looking at is Jake Johnson, tight end 19, who was on that side of the field, and did he start blocking before Ship caught the ball, given that he was downfield? That, to me, is what would be in question. So ball's out, and then 19, so you can see it's close. Very close. Johnson, the tight end, blocking there. Luckily for North Carolina, and their sake, they're going to pick up the flag.
2 backs, Hall and Gauze, flanking Lopez. Lopez keeps it. Spins free down inside the 20. And it's a good thing Sebastian Harsh made the tackle, or Lopez might have been gone. That was the last man on that side of the field.
Yeah, it's good recognition by Harsh, too. You said it, everyone was flowing the other way. Harsh is the only one that recognized where Gio Lopez was going. But what a nice drive by the Tar Heel offense. This is the question, though. This is where they sputtered a week ago when they get into the red zone. Moving the ball, you've given your defense time to rest. That's great, but it's not going to do anything for you long term if you don't turn that into a touchdown.
Lopez to throw. Hall stays in the block. Now he goes out in the pattern, but Lopez is going to the end zone. Touchdown Heels. Ship on the receiving end, and his go-to guy gets into the corner, and Lopez finds him. 20 yards for the score.
This is an excellent job by both guys sticking with the play. Gio Lopez sticking with it, trusting that Jordan Ship's going to get open, and Ship fighting the NC State defender, ensuring that he gets there first to the back pylon. When they have to have a play receiver-wise, Jordan Ship is their guy, not necessarily a burner, but right there utilizing leverage and his route running skills to just get a step, and Gio Lopez's accurate throw turns into a touchdown.
Fairhoff splits the uprights on the try, and North Carolina right back in this one. Lopez 4 for 4 on the drive, 51 yards. The last completion to Jordan Ship, the sophomore out of Charlotte, 14-7. Tar Heels desperately needed an answer, and they got one. 14-7, they closed the gap. Don't forget, tonight on the ACC Network, after this game, it's the ACC Huddle final score. They're going to wrap up the full day, take you through the biggest stories, break down all the games. It's also available on the ESPN app, as you know. And a big day in the ACC wrapping up.
A lot of scenarios we're going to have to break down.
Let's find out what Ashley Stroline is up to down on the field.
Well, I had a chance to speak with Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick prior to tonight's game. And I said, Coach, how will you measure success? Take away wins and losses, but what factors are you looking for? He simply said growth, and he means that across the board, from how players are working together, getting physically stronger, faster, more explosive, to growth in operations, scouting, and recruiting. He said his goal is to see improved performance in close games to change that win and loss record. And he has to be pretty happy about how his guys work together on that last drive.
Thank you, Ashley. Defense needs to come to the fore here, and this is a good start, forcing the incomplete pass on first down. NC State has had an 11-play touchdown drive and a 12-play touchdown drive to start this game.
And that first drive, the Tar Heel defense was playing well, but you had a 3rd and long pickup by C.J. Bailey's legs, and then a 4th and short pickup by Will Wilson. So it hasn't necessarily been as dire as the stats might show, but if you're North Carolina, got to pick up the momentum your offense just gave you.
Bailey now to throw quickly to the outside. That's Rogers. He's going to be escorted out of bounds after a pickup of 6. It's Jaden Patterson in coverage.
This is the matchup. It's going to be the cat and mouse game for Steve Belichick. At 3rd and 4, this is a long 4-2, so the Will Rogers package not necessarily in place. 3rd down, you got a lot of playmakers on the NC State side of things you got to manage, and C.J. Bailey's legs.
Bailey still looking, still looking. Jolie can't get to the marker, though. He's going to be dropped about a yard shy. Outstanding play by Gibson.
It's a good job by Jolie, finding his way open. He's over the middle of the ball. It's blanketed coverage, but then when he runs to the green grass, he's up short of the sticks. Good job by the Tar Heels rallying and coming up with that tackle. If C.J. Bailey's leg or eyes came all the way back to the backside, he had his running back uncovered. Just didn't get there into the progression, and the Tar Heels get off the field.
Fake, and they got it.
I spoke too soon. Right when I said they get off the field, they fake it, pitch it to the up man, run right behind the A-gap, the long snapper, and the guard and tackle right next to him, and just enough yardage to pick it up.
It's Preston Douglas was the up man who took the snap. And you heard the crowd here at Carter-Finley booing when the punt team came on. I'm sure Dave Dorn was thinking, just hang on, everybody. I got this.
Bill Belichick's calling card when he was in the National Football League was those special teams type moments.
Can Bailey and company take advantage of it? Breaks free to midfield and into North Carolina territory, all the way down to the 45 before Jaden Patterson tracks him down. Another 21 yards. Bailey has put up all kinds of numbers with his legs tonight.
Getty breaks contain. It's Joseph Mapoe, the defensive end, gets stuck in there 25, and then at that point, CJ's got too much speed. The Tar Heels have to adjust, and rather than every man trying to get the sack, they have to rush like a unit and compress the pocket on CJ, force him to stick in there and make throws to beat you.
Hollywood on the hip of his lead blocker. Close to another first down. Simpson on the tackle, but Hollywood Smothers picks up 8. Bailey has 55 yards on 5 carries. Smothers is starting to get his. Look at big old 65 in there.
Running right behind Jacarius Peak. Both those guys, Hollywood Smothers and Jacarius Peak, technically underclassmen, not seniors. Both guys walked today in the Wolfpack Senior Day. They're going to await their NFL draft grade. If it's in that first or second round and you start talking guaranteed money, well, then maybe their days wearing this jersey are numbered.
Bailey pulls it out, hits a receiver over the middle. That's Rogers inside the 15. has the success NC State's had running the ball open that up.
That's exactly why it's open. When you run the ball, Tar Heels have to load the box, account for Hollywood Smothers. It creates one-on-one matchups on the outside. When that's the case, your receivers, especially these big physical receivers, got to win those matchups. And with accurate throws by C.J. Bailey, it's a recipe for success.
NC State is incredibly successful scoring touchdowns in the red zone on the season. 34 trips to the red zone coming into the game and 27 touchdowns, and they're 2 for 2 so far today. This is the third trip. Hollywood on the direct snap. Trying to get outside. Good job by the Tar Heel defense. Straighten it out. He'll lose yards. Thompson in on it. From his defensive end spot, Tyler Thompson on the tackle.
Thaddeus Dixon did a great job at that corner spot. See number 1 there, stringing that out, allowing his buddies to come in and make the play. It's a big moment in terms of, can you hold them? They've had 2 red zone trips already, 2 for 2 NC State has. Holding them to a field goal here would be a win.
Deuce got a little bit of a bigger back in the game now for the Wolfpack. Bailey to throw, though. Quickly out to Grimes again, trying to get to the end zone. He won't get there, but he's down inside the 5. Crowd wanted a flag at the end of it. He won't get one. Caleb Koss was involved in the tackle. Let's take another look at the pitch and catch.
It's right on time. Excellent job by C.J. Bailey getting the ball out of his hands quickly. You know, this is a hitch to the wide side of the field. You see 1, 2, 3, ball out, perfect spiral. You know, that defender only has so many yards to drop back before his heels are in the end zone. If you're late at all, that's a pick going the other way.
The meat package is in. Will Wilson, a quarterback. Darius Johnson in at tailback. They bring in 44, Cody Hardy as another tight end. Wilson gets stopped at the goal line. Did he get in? No signal yet. No, the officials saying he did not quite get in. Ran a little upright that time.
And he got popped by Will Hardy because of it. This safety filling that gap. Looks like there's a banged up NC State player. It looks like it's Peak, their talented left tackle who we just talked about. Trying to go quick. He's not even in the huddle.
Officials timeout for an injured player of the offense.
And since the officials blew the play or blew the clock dead, that means that Peak is going to have to sit on for one play. And C.J. Bailey is just trying to convince him he's got to walk off. I mean, that's Coach Dorn is out there making sure he's all right and he understands everything that's going on. This is an interesting conversation here. Dorn wants an explanation from the officials. They stopped the clock for an injured player. I think the Dorn is saying my guy wasn't injured.
Usually in this scenario, I think it's the refs wondering if there's a head injury. Have to go off one play to make sure he gets checked. But obviously, if you feel like you're okay, Peak's confused at why he was ever
game clock
taken out in a critical down like this.
To 7 minutes, 21 seconds.
So they'll set the clock to 7:21, and Rico Jackson is in at left tackle. And they've got Dante Daniels, another big tight end on that side. This time Wilson makes no mistake.
Even with their starting left tackle out, that doesn't change their plan of attack. We're running left, this time behind Rico Jackson and tight end Dante Daniels, who gets the pancake block. Finishing there. The Pack's finishing the drive. 3 for 3 on drives and touchdowns to start this rivalry matchup.
And they have been long drives. 11, 12, and 11 plays. This one, 11-play variety, taking almost 6 minutes again off the clock. Vine set with the PAT. They are keeping this North Carolina defense on the field for a long time here in this first half. And they convert another red zone opportunity. Perfect. 3 for 3. Wilson finishes it off. All Wolfpack early. All right, Kelsey, that's big. Finishing up what was a very important, not just day, but weekend in the ACC with Georgia Tech kicking things off yesterday with a tough loss against Georgia, but a lot of meaningful games that we will cover throughout the show and also after the game on ACC Huddle Final.
Seeing out of the corner of my eye, the Virginia Tech game going to halftime. That's obviously a game that's noteworthy. Virginia in with a win.
SMU and Cal were scoreless last time I saw. You had Miami hammering Pitt early on in the day. There's our dog retrieving the tee, much to the delight of the folks here in Raleigh. Hey, the third annual ACC SEC Women's Basketball Challenge begins Wednesday. Auburn squares off against the Cuse at 5 Eastern. Then Thursday night, SMU hosts Arkansas at 7, right here on the ACC Network and on the ESPN app. That dog's getting the workout so far today. He's had to retrieve that tee already 3 times. And well, once again, North Carolina coming back on the field offensively with the need to answer.
Yeah, first drive they went 3 and out. Then they responded with a nice answer in the touchdown drive. Last drive unlocked something in the pass game, I felt like.
Hall shook a couple of tacklers. Couldn't shake the final one by Assad Brown Jr.
It's a running back room for North Carolina, very much running back by committee. We've seen June and Hall. Goss, who was the high school teammate of C.J. Bailey, across from him. We'll get some action on third down. When we had him versus Richmond in week 2, Caleb Hood was their lead running back. He's since retired mid-season from football, stepped away from the game. So still kind of looking for who's that guy, who that guy's going to be. It's going to be the bell cow for the offense.
Now they split Hall out. He's on the receiving end here, but nowhere to go. NC State's defense all over it. A.J. Richardson. Man, the Packers so happy to have him back in the fold.
In a defense that's been, their depth's been tested. A.J. Richardson, he's been out since week 2. This week is his first game back. One of those linebackers in a room that's been thin. A lot of Wolfpack fans are happy to see him flying around.
And those Wolfpack fans are letting their team hear it right here. 3rd down and 9.
If you're NC State, got to keep contained on Gio Lopez. He's got to be wary of the play clock, too. They're not going to get this off.
Delay game. Offense.
Delay a game is the call. Thought we might get a timeout from that North Carolina bench. Didn't get it, so a 3rd and 9 now becomes that much more difficult at 3rd and 14.
And I'm shocked we didn't get a timeout. You're down 2 touchdowns in a rivalry game where your defense needs some help of any time. That's the time where you need to burn a timeout, especially in the first half. It's not like it's late in the game where you're maybe gearing up for a 2-minute situation. I thought that was a missed opportunity, especially with Gio Lopez walking towards the line of scrimmage. We set it up here. You could tell he wasn't going to get the playoff.
NC State bringing just 3, so they drop back in coverage. So Lopez has time. Now he rolls out, has a receiver open. Ship makes the catch in the 1st down. A big conversion by the Tar Heels.
These two guys have a nice rapport working. Established last drive. Lopez breaks the pocket, and an excellent touch right here, making sure he floats the ball over the linebacker in front of the safety. And a nice job by Jordan Shipp, who was on a dig route, wasn't open the first time, but sticks with the route, helps his quarterback out by finding the open window.
Again, North Carolina going empty. Design quarterback draw. Lopez picks up about 3. A.J. Richardson again on the tackle. How about Lopez throwing on the run? I feel like we've heard that from coaches, both North Carolina and NC State coaches this week, about how he's on the run and all of a sudden that ball comes out with a lot of zip.
It's noteworthy, too, because it's offensive tackles for North Carolina that have been suspect at times this year versus very good rushers edgewise for NC State.
Finally, the pocket collapses around Lopez, and it's Brandon Cleveland. Big nose tackle, rubbing that belly, all that Thanksgiving, all the fixins.
I'm sure they had to monitor a big guy like that on Thanksgiving. One helping's enough. He's getting his helping right there. Little sack lunch. We mentioned the edge rushers. North Carolina State, they love Sebastian Harsh on one side, Sloan on the other. But inside, Brandon Cleveland, he's playing a lot of football for this Pack defense, getting it done not only against the rush, but in the pass rush game as well.
Ship, midfield, still on his feet, another first down.
That's the matchup. North Carolina likes it. Jordan Ship is finding a rhythm. Had a corner route the last drive, dig route a couple plays ago. This time it's just a slant route, one-on-one with Jackson Vick, Wolfpack nickel.
Damon June back in the game at tailback. Lopez looking to throw. Has all kinds of time, tries to get it to Ship again and just overshoots him. Man, he has really got an eye for one and white right now.
Jordan Ship's running the whole route tree. This time it's an over route. Thought that ball was just a little high and behind him. Brian Nelson's on coverage, the big corner for NC State.
That broke a string of 8 straight completions for Gio Lopez. He's feeling it.
With so much transition this offseason of new players coming in, well documented for North Carolina. Ship and Paysor, their go-to receivers, were 2 guys that were retained from Mac Brown's staff. Got to keep them getting going.
Play fake. Nice job by June picking up the blitzer. Now he's going to the end zone. Players getting all kinds of tangled up, and the flag comes out. Assad Brown in coverage, and Ship offers his hand to help him up, knowing he's the beneficiary of that penalty.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
It was an excellent blitz pickup by Damon June to allow this pass to happen. Then it's just one-on-one. A lot of contact on that outside. Not really getting your eyes back. And we'll see it here. Damon June, true freshman running back. It's the hardest thing for a true freshman, pass protection. Got a lot of linebackers and safeties, defensive ends flying around. Knowing your assignment, Damon June, and that blitz pickup allowed that penalty to happen.
NC State's coming again. This time Lopez nowhere to go. Caden Fordham, one of the top tacklers in the country, picks up a TFL. And another sack. That's the second one on this drive for this NC State defense. They don't pick up a whole lot of sacks. They're not like North Carolina.
One time we talk about blitz pickup, the very next play, I think their young running back gets confused about who his job was to pick up. Center takes one guy. It's on the running back to take the other. Fordham, the veteran on this defense, leads the team in tackles, 7th in the country in tackles, leads the ACC in tackles. Coming off an ACL injury a year ago, has rebounded in a big way this 2025 campaign.
Now Lopez has time, has a receiver. Down near the 30 is Kate Paysor.
It's a nice job by Gio Lopez. The mindset for a quarterback on 2nd and long always when you're passing the balls, just get half back. Get yourself to a 3rd and manageable, and now North Carolina's going to have an interesting decision play call-wise as Gio Lopez looks back.
This is the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, they're going to discuss what do they call here. Do you maybe run the ball and get it to 4th and short and go for it, or try to pick it all up?
Well, Lopez is 4 for 4 on 3rd down so far. I'll be looking to improve one better when we come back. All right, thank you, Kelsey. Here it's 21-7. North Carolina facing a 3rd down here late in the first half. Lopez going to the end zone. He's got Paysor, just can't quite hook up with him. Paysor had a step on his defender, but Kean Sloan putting the pressure on Lopez, forcing the errant throw.
Yeah, the Wolfpack brought the house. It's a nice blitz pickup. Gio Lopez gets flushed to his left. The only problem is all his receivers are on the other side of the field. So he has no outlet pass, and he's trying to put some air on it and see if he can catch one of his receivers downfield. But if he got flushed to his right side, he would have had some options. Instead, the Tar Heels are going to be left trying to attempt a long field goal.
He's kicked a 57-yarder this year, and Verhoff has all kinds of distance on it, and he's good from 49. So that weapon for Bill Belichick continues. Carolina cashes in. Still Wolfpack up 11.
The ACC championship game.
ACC championship game next Saturday in Charlotte. ACC PM crew is going to be there Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern. A 2-hour show to get you ready right here on the ACC network. Virginia's leading, SMU's leading at the moment. Both those teams win. Both those teams will play in the championship game next Saturday in Charlotte.
Got the other North Carolina team, Duke, sitting there waiting. They took care of business, won today. They needed a Pitt loss. That was the first box they had to check.
Well, they checked that one off pretty early because Miami owned Pitt today.
And then now if SMU loses or Virginia loses and a UNC win, that's a lot to verbalize right now. But Duke's still in the picture. They're anxiously watching their TV screens about these two matchups tonight.
Right. It's hard for them to cheer for either one of these two teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. That is a tough task. Let's see what CJ Bailey can do here. He's been unstoppable all game long so far. Hollywood still on his feet. That's a tough run. He's had 2 beautiful 4-yard runs in this game. Abujide on the tackle, but Bailey, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, 89 yards through the air, 55 on the ground so far. All 3 timeouts on the board for the Wolfpack. Bailey looking to throw. Trying to get it to Jolie and does near midfield. Big tight end picks it up, 19 yards. Wolfpack want to go quickly to preserve those TOs.
Such a great route by Jolie. Defensive backs battle him the whole way, breaks it off at the last second. Bailey gets him the ball.
Bailey again underneath to Jolie. That's only a 2-yard completion, but he gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Marcus Allen on the tackle.
If you're NC State, you still got a lot of time. 3 timeouts. Minute 9 left, already at midfield. Can still run the ball and try to catch him off guard. Maybe get Hollywood Smothers a catch, but obviously if Jolie, who's a weapon in the slot, bigger bodied guy, if he's working, keep feeding him the rock.
Bailey looking near side. That time defended by Marcus Allen. Again, tried to get it to Anderson.
Nice coverage by Marcus Allen on the outside. Knowing that they're going to have out-breaking routes toward the sideline, be monitoring the clock. It's an opportunity for this Tar Heel defense, who's, you know, taking their blows this first half. If you're able to get your first stop of the game in this drive, a game in which NC State feels like they've had complete control, only going into halftime down 2 possessions, that'd be a big win.
Duke Scott gonna have to lower his shoulder. Drives out of bounds. So that'll stop the clock, but he's going to be about a yard shy, I believe, of the first down. Let's see where they eventually mark it down. I think he's going to be just a little bit shy. Yeah, a yard short.
Again, CJ Bailey playing at a high level on 3rd and long. He's had a handful of third and longs in this game. His legs have been a factor right there. Does a nice job checking the ball down.
And North Carolina wants a timeout.
First timeout, North Carolina. It will be 30 seconds.
With 3 timeouts, you'd have to think that Will Wilson package, backup quarterback in there, is very much a factor. Can run it with him and then call a timeout as needed.
Especially now, they were going to stay with Bailey and Duke Scott to try and snap it quickly, but Steve Belichick, Bill Belichick's son, defensive coordinator here for North Carolina, calling the timeout. So now NC State can sub. Both teams can now sub at will.
Steve obviously coached with his dad many years with the Patriots. Last year was Jed Fish's defensive coordinator at Washington, was his first year at the college ranks. Then when his pops got the head job down here, he came to Chapel Hill to lead a unit that's playing pretty well. It's a North Carolina team that's had their struggles this year, but the defense has been playing pretty solid.
So they're bringing in Will Wilson. This is a package that's been so effective all game and all year, really. Wilson to run it. Again, he gets behind that big offensive line. This time it was Anthony Carter, that left guard, pulling into the hole, and it's a first down.
First charge timeout. NC State, nearly 30 seconds.
Told us that it was a charge timeout, but the offense is not moving like it. Now they are.
Tonight on the ACC network after our game, The ACC Huddle final score. They're going to wrap up the whole day and the whole season and look forward to next weekend's championship game in Charlotte, because all the games and the entire picture will become clear tonight following our game, following the Virginia Tech game, and following the Cal SMU game.
Yeah, to complete that thought that we started the drive with, so the Duke scenario, very rare. They're at home right now rooting for the Tar Heels. Their scenario was they had to win. Duke did that. Needed a Pitt loss. That happened. Now they need a Virginia loss and a North Carolina loss. It's North Carolina win, excuse me.
It's like crossing the streams. Like it's
still alive, though.
Still alive.
I'm sure there's some group text in the Duke locker room of explaining the scenarios that they're all rooting for at home watching the games.
Bailey. That time Jolie couldn't quite make the grab. Just a little too far for him.
With 2 timeouts, you still have enough time to do some route in between the hash marks. If you get Jolie on a dig route or a slot on a seam route, doesn't all have to be towards the sideline. That's what they've gone with the past few attempts.
Pressure. Bailey has room to run. Ducks near the 30. That's right where he needed to get for the first down.
Officials timeout for an injured player of the offense.
We've got a Wolfpack player injured back here at the 50-yard line. An offensive lineman. He was in some pain. That's Spike Souls, true freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky.
It's an offensive line that's already thin. Kamen Smith, who had started games for them at times this year, he's out. Souls, a true freshman, having to play an increased role as a youngster. He's obviously banged up there. Rico Jackson, he's been banged up much of the year, so thin offensive line.
It's Teague Anderson right there. He's been banged up as well. It's one of those things where it's just, whether you're in the college game or at the pro level too, a lot of the pro coaches will say it's almost like training for having to use the shell game on the offensive line, because you don't have big rosters in the NFL. You've got to cross train. Guys got to play right tackle, left tackle. Some guards have to move to center. And right now, with the way these lines are getting banged up, this is what you have to do in the college game.
The difference between college and NFL too is NFL, I mean, those are the cream of the crop, best athletes for an offensive lineman. At the college game, you know, a lot of these rosters have very distinct guard and center bodies and then very distinct tackle bodies, where if you're a guard at 6'2", you can't necessarily just pop out wide and play tackle.
You also don't see a lot of true freshmen playing on the offensive line at this level.
At 6'2", 310, it's a big true freshman.
So Rico Jackson, who played a snap at left tackle earlier in the game, is now at right guard. Bailey, pressure up the middle, gets rid of it. Great catch near the goal line. Touch, no, they spot him down right at the 1. Terrell Anderson, 29 yards. What a catch.
And what a throw as well. C.J. Bailey takes a hit from a blitzing linebacker that goes untouched, rib cage exposed, but he's trusting his playmaker on the outside to make a play. Just throw it up, allow him to adjust the football. C.J. Bailey got up slow. Excellent job by Bailey, knowing that defensive back's going to have a hard time making a play on that ball. Give it enough air for your receiver to adjust to it.
Anderson's helmet hits the pylon, but the ball was out of bounds inside the 1.
He's right on cue, too, to make a right guard switch. Great job by Steve Belichick deciding to blitz the A-gap, force that right guard to communicate and operate. That's just a quarterback cleaning up a protection mess. Getting his receiver the ball and allowing him to make a play.
Bailey's already got the coat on. Ball's at the 1-yard line. This is Will Wilson territory right here. Wilson, straight ahead, stuffed initially. It'll be second down.
This is where it gets interesting. Well, you're going to have NC State take their last timeout.
Third charge timeout.
C.J. Bailey might have to take that jacket off because you can't necessarily, you can't run that Wildcat one more time, or else you run the risk of running the half out.
You could probably run it one more time, then spike it on third down, and then run it again on fourth down if you wanted to.
Yep. Then that opens the whole question of how many under center snaps has Will Wilson taken. I'd imagine most of his workload is shotgun Wildcat roll.
Well, you see Bailey there. He's got the coat off alongside his head coach, Dave Doran. Wolfpack out of timeouts. Another double-digit play drive. The 11th play of this drive coming up next. Highlighted by that spectacular one-handed catch from Terrell Anderson.
A lot of the teams we see play have their offensive coordinator on the sideline. Now that you have iPads, you can communicate with your quarterbacks on the sideline. That's not NC State's situation. They have Kurt Roper up in the booth. Again, seeing this catch here, pass by C.J. Bailey. Phenomenal catch by Terrell Anderson. Almost got in for 6, but that was the chunk play they needed to get into the goal line, close to the goal line.
Bailey back in, along with Smothers. So the entire playbook available for Dave Doran and offensive coordinator Kurt Roper. Jolie in motion, looking for him in the end zone. Touchdown, Wolfpack.
Jolie's been involved in every other run play down on the 1-yard line this game. This time they motion him. You recognize it's man coverage, and Jolie not only has the strength but the speed to beat the North Carolina defender to the front pylon. Excellent timing by C.J. Bailey getting the ball out of his hands, and Jolie showing why he's the complete package at tight end.
Set looking to put the finishing touches on what has been an impressive performance by this Wolfpack team, especially on the offensive end. Flags all over the place.
Ball start, offense. 5-yard penalty. We played the try.
Wolfpack coming into this game averaging just over 29 points a game, and they're about to put number 28 up in the first half if Vineset can convert. Snap, hold, and kicker good.
Said it before, this time you're putting Jolie in motion. Man-to-man coverage. It's a race to the front pylon. Accurate throw by C.J. Bailey. Getting your tight end involved. What a huge drive that is for NC State, too. 2-minute mode to get down there, not only get points, but get a touchdown. 4 drives in this game, 4 touchdowns, exactly what the doctor ordered if you're NC State.
Taking a look at it again, Jolie. Taking a bow. Oh, he's set. Because remember, he got hurt when we had him in Pittsburgh.
The last time we saw him score a touchdown,
yeah,
he got hurt mid-run and had to
drag defenders about 20 yards into the end zone.
And then himself and his right leg limping into the end zone, literally. Greg Jennings style, putting the team on his back. He's looking healthy there.
The faux leg injury, healthy and a big smile. The crowd cheering for the dog, retrieving the tee. Told you he's going to get a workout in. And now North Carolina with 18 seconds left. They do have the 2 timeouts, but presumably they will go into the locker room and talk things over and try and make the proper adjustments to come back and get back into this game to start the second half. They will get the ball first, so they've got that going for them. Lopez looking to throw. Flags down as he completes it to Gauze. But that looks like it's coming back.
Holding. Offense, number 66. 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
So in that situation, you want to get a completion on first down, right, to give you a little bit of breathing room and then make your decision. But now that you only have 12 and you're backed up, you think we'll see Lopez throw again here?
Let's see, Bill Belichick's not pleased yet. To me, in that situation, even though you have the timeouts, you're hoping for maybe, if you can get lucky with a dig route and get 20 yards, maybe that can, have you try to get in field goal range. But it's not an ideal situation, hence why they're going for a knee here.
Lopez takes the knee, and a standing ovation from the crowd here at Carter-Finley as their Wolfpack head to the locker room with a 28-10 lead. An impressive performance for C.J. Bailey in this offense. And the defense as well, holding Carolina to just a 10 spot at the break. Down to Ashley with Coach Doran.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Coach Doran, 4 offensive drives, 4 touchdowns. What's working so well offensively?
We're converting. CJ's moving the ball with his legs. He's ran around, scrambled, made some plays. The kids are making catches for him. It's going to be a 4-quarter game. These ones always are, but I love how our offense is playing. 2 more quarters to go in that 4-quarter game. What's going to be your message at halftime to finish off this rival game against North Carolina? It's 1 play at a time, as long as they let us play. It's how good can you play. Just each guy playing as good as he can possibly play, 1 play at a time.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you, Coach. Ashley, 28-10 our halftime score. Wolfpack fans pleased with what they've seen so far. Let's send you to the studio at Kelsey's crew.
Carter, thanks. Welcome into this ACC Network halftime report. And if you thought it was going to be simple after the way that the ACC season has been, then you were wrong. Because guess what? This final week of college football winding down, and we still don't know who's playing in Charlotte. Here's the scenarios for the ACC championship game as it stands right now. 4 teams technically still in the mix. Virginia controls their own destiny if they win against Virginia Tech. Miami does still technically have a chance to get in the ACC championship right now, depending on what happens in these final ACC games. But man, you talk about the conference and out-of-conference games and what to play. Well, they played the game, they won the game, and it's NC State winning against North Carolina right now. All right, we'll get you back out to the second half on the other side of this break. North Carolina got a little work to do. Coach, it's Jordan Shipp.
No way. What the?
It didn't even work.
Brown, Chris Cotter, and Ashley Stroline down on the field. The first half dominated by NC State. 28-10 our score. But North Carolina gets it to start this second half, so maybe the Heels can go on a long drive of their own, climb back into this one. Nick Konachinski will kick it off. And he'll kick it out of the back of the end zone. Let's send it down to Ashley Stroline down on the field.
Thanks, Chris. Well, I walked out of the tunnel with Tar Heels head coach Bill Belichick. I said, Coach, message to your team at halftime. No comment. I said, Coach, anything at all I can say in this report that I'm about to do. He said, it's simple as this. We just need to play better. Very focused, Chris and Max.
Better in just about every phase. But that's, as Ashley told us earlier in the game, that's the focus, just to improve in every single area. And looking for win number 5 on the year, but it's going to be an uphill task here in the second half. Lopez to throw on first down. As a receiver over the middle, that's Ship. His favorite target. Fordham chased him out of bounds. Ship was looking for an alley, couldn't find one. Still moves the chains though.
Ship was the bright spot in the first half. 5 catches for 66 yards. Now 6 catches for 76 yards. He's got to be a focal point in the second half. I mean, North Carolina drive-wise only had 3 full drives in that first half. Was a unique first half in that regard, where one of which is a 3-and-out, but on the sideline for much of that first half.
First charge timeout, NC State. It'll be 30 seconds.
Second play of the half, and NC State already calling a timeout. That's interesting.
We're highlighting Brandon Cleveland, who did a nice acting job at the end, trying to get a 15-yarder, flopping to the ground.
It would be really hard to topple Cleveland. Like, that takes a big-time push and a big-time effort. See, he's getting an attaboy from the coaching staff. Like, that was good effort anyway. Give it a shot. Yeah, that little, it's almost like a touch.
Yep, it's a good acting job. He sells it.
It's not going to knock him over.
Cleveland celebrating senior day today. We've said it a couple times. Played a lot of ball for this Pack defense. He's smiling. He knows the deal.
Senior out of Tampa. 6'4", 315, clogging up the middle. So coming out of the NC State timeout now, it's a fresh set of downs for North Carolina. Lopez roll in the pocket. Again, looking for Ship. Couldn't make the one-handed diving catch. That's just a bridge too far for one and white. Vick on coverage.
It's really good coverage by Jackson Vick. The nickel for NC State. Blanketed Jordan Ship on an out route there. Ship tried to go behind Vick, but he stayed in phase the whole time. That's the matchup if you're North Carolina that you want to attack, not because Vick's not a good player, but really Jordan Ship's the only playmaker that North Carolina has. It's 2 totally different offenses in terms of North Carolina State, plethora of playmakers. North Carolina, they got Paysor and Ship, but it's really only been Ship so far today.
Lopez trying to get it to Ship, and he made the catch. That is a tough catch. He had Assad Brown all over him and still was able to squeeze it.
Yeah, he's on the outside lane, little comeback route. Lopez with an accurate throw, puts it right on his chest, and he's fighting for that ball. Both guys are. That's a great competitive play. Assad Brown versus Jordan Ship. Trying to come up with that big catch. Jordan Ship does, and finds himself and his team in a 3rd and short.
Davian Goss in now for North Carolina. Lopez under center. Pitch to Goss. Will he throw it back? He will. Lopez, this is a tough catch. He makes it. He can throw it. Now when he falls down, he loses his footing. Looking for the double pass. And Lopez, when he tried to set his feet to launch it, his feet fell out from under him.
It's a true double pass, and you got Jake Johnson, the tight end, and then Ship on a corner route, and he just falls down. I thought NC State got lucky at the end there. You see Isaiah Shirley come right over his face mask. I think he could have easily got a taunting call there at the end. It's rivalry football, so I don't mind them letting the guys play. But that's one I wouldn't have been surprised if there was a yellow flag on the field there.
Again, is he going to fake it? No, he does punt it after running a good bit. Anderson. Good coverage by the heels. It looked like McGinnis might have had a shot.
Probably would have done that if it wasn't 4th and forever. That was 4th and 10. I think he had a lane there.
See what your key players for NC State earlier on in the game have done.
Not a ton of rushing yards by Smothers, but C.J. Bailey's legs, they've been the factor in the rushing game. He has 65 yards on the ground, been efficient in the air, no turnovers. I mean, it's just copy and paste, rinse and repeat for North Carolina State's offense. 4 drives in the first half, 4 touchdowns, as much as you could ask for if you're Dave Doran.
And all either 11 or 12 plays long, trying to get Smothers going here in the second half. He picks up 4.5. Isaiah Johnson on the tackle.
It's where they have had some success. They're averaging over 5 yards a carry, NC State is, compared to North Carolina, who only has -3 rushing yards, especially after that loss by Gio Lopez. But you know, when they have had to run the ball, it's they're getting 4 or 5. Hasn't been, you know, the Tar Heels playing in the backfield.
Bailey looking to throw. Pressure comes. Nowhere to go. He's absolutely smothered. The Heels brought the house, Kamori House, along with Robinson and Abujide, and he had nowhere to go.
Yeah, nice little twist game right there. Getting Abujide was the first one to touch him, coming from that defensive end spot, twisting inside. We talked about Abujide in the open. Last 4 games, 8.5 sacks. Leads the ACC in sacks. That's his 11th on the season.
And 31st for North Carolina as a team. That's second best in conference play coming into the weekend.
Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds, and it will start on my signal.
Great opportunity for this North Carolina defense to force, obviously, a very rare 3 and out in this game for NC State. Hollywood just gets hammered. And that's exactly what the Tar Heel defense have done.
Good job by Kamori House, that linebacker 7. He sniffed out that screen right away. Anytime it's 3rd and long, got to be alert for screens and draws. Good job by House sniffing that out. And for the first time all game, UNC is getting off the field. And Chris, last time I said that, North Carolina State ran a fake.
I was going to say.
But 4th and 9 is a little different than 4th and 4.
This is the first time we've seen Nuncaster, but it's the first time he's going to punt. Maybe. He will. Hardy's going to give it a shot. And he's tackled at the 28. Now flags come in late. This is getting a little chippy here to start this second half. There's a Tar Heel pleading his case with the official on the far side, which is where the flag was dropped. That was Marcus Allen speaking to the officials.
After the play, that's sportsmanlike conduct. Receiving team, number 21, his first of the game. That penalty is half the distance to go. First down.
Caleb Cost. It's going to cost his team 15. 7th penalty on the day for North Carolina. They'll start in the hole.
Timeout on the field.
28-10 our score. NC State on top. Don't forget tonight, the ACC Huddle. Final score comes your way after this game. So much to go over because you've got Virginia winning big over Virginia Tech. Looks like the Cavaliers are going to win that game. So they've got one spot locked up then for next week's ACC Championship game in Charlotte on Saturday. The other one's still way up in the air because Cal is currently leading SMU. Gio's got all kinds of time here, looking for Ship. 3 different Wolfpack defenders all around Ship, and they couldn't connect.
Feels like every single time they're throwing the rock, Ship's the guy getting targeted. One of these other receivers has to get open, and Gio's got to find him.
Look at the ACC standings right now. There's Virginia, and they're leading big over Virginia Tech. They're going to win the Commonwealth Cup.
The noteworthy one, though, is Duke is very much in play. Duke, in terms of a ACC championship probability, is ahead of the 3 teams above them, Miami, Pitt, and Georgia Tech. Miami's still alive. Duke's still alive. They obviously need both a SMU loss to start the tiebreaker scenario.
Gio's going to throw again on 2nd down. Pocket collapses. He goes down. Travali Price got there. 3rd sack of the game for the Wolfpack.
You got Gio Lopez down.
He got rolled, didn't he?
Officials timeout for an injured player of the offense.
All 285 pounds of Travali Price. And he's in some discomfort right now. There's Max Johnson, the backup, warming up. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll check in on Gio Lopez. This is a shame right here. Gio Lopez being helped off. Can't put any weight on that left leg. He went straight into the locker room. So that is just terrible news for North Carolina in the final game of the year. Take another look at how he got hurt.
Just gets rolled up on by Price and the edge rushers. Can't tell if it was that last.
Right, it looked like it was that last one. His left leg got hung up underneath him.
Not sure if it's ankle or knee, again. But yeah, you're right. It's caught up under him.
It wasn't here. It was when right there underneath. You see the way that the lower left leg just gets caught up.
Guy who's had to be tough all year, had the abdomen injury versus TCU to start the year, had to battle injuries for about a month, got healthier as the season went on, and
that was a 315-pounder, Brandon Cleveland, who landed on him. So Max Johnson is in, and he completes his first pass. Gauze out of the backfield. He's tackled immediately by Caden Fordham, but at least Johnson completed his first throw, and they're going to have to rely on him the rest of the way. It's 4th down on this drive, though.
Guy that's played a lot of football. Came in reserve during week 1 versus TCU when Gio Lopez went down, led him straight down to a touchdown. Obviously, coming in 3rd and longs, different story, but definitely a guy that has a lot of experience in the grand scheme of backup quarterback, certainly capable.
Let's not forget, he was the starter at the beginning of the year last year and got injured in the opener against Minnesota. That ball off a player, but it's covered by Anderson, so it won't be an issue. You're watching the ACC on ESPN at the 9:30 mark of this 3rd quarter. We had a first half that just flew by as both of these teams went on long, drawn-out possessions that drained the clock, but this second half hasn't been nearly as efficient for either team.
Yeah, first half only 7 true possessions, one of which was a 3-and-out. Chris, you said it last drive, but every one of North Carolina State's drives
the ball was illegally touched
the last one,
by the kicking team at the 45-yard line.
Because that man's playing at a high level. No interceptions is the thing that sticks out, and then you're not seeing it there. But I guess at the very bottom, his rushes, his legs have very much been a factor.
Only had 1 punt in the first half. We've had 3 straight here in the second. Hollywood cuts it inside, has nowhere to go. It's an outstanding job setting the edge that time by Melkart Abujide.
And a nice job at the sack last drive. Talk about him, Abujide on one side, big defensive tackles and inside. If they're going to get back in this game, it's got to come from the defensive line, impacting C.J. Bailey and not letting Hollywood Smothers get going.
Now Bailey to throw. He's looking to Smothers, finds him out of the backfield. Trying to split 2 defenders, cannot. Abujide again on the tackle. 9 is a heck of an athlete. He comes up limping a little bit, but he can move.
See his frame, very athletic, 6'5", 260. Big enough to put his hand in the dirt, rush the passer, hold up in the run game, but athletic enough to drop into coverage. Getting 3rd and 7 here, though. Let's see what Steve Belichick dials up. Biggest concern, if you're Steve, is managing C.J. Bailey's legs when it breaks down. Do you have your middle linebacker, Kamori House, spy C.J.? Well, that means you have 1 less defender in coverage. That's what they're going to do.
Over the middle, defended beautifully. There's Caleb Cost. And just like that, another drive stalls here in the second half.
Great coverage by Cost in breaking route, trying to take advantage of the fact that your middle linebacker is spying the quarterback. Some more green grass to go get if you're North Carolina State, but Caleb Cost, ball was a little bit behind the receiver, and Cost makes an excellent play to break it up.
Noonkester again. This one a wobbly kick. Going to take an NC State bounce. The shame with Noonkester is that he has to wear a helmet because he walked on senior day and he's got one of the best mullets I've seen all year long.
What's the adjective you used to describe it?
It was I forget. Was it sublime?
It was something. It was something unique that I wish that young man heard what you said, because you were giving him his flowers. That's for sure.
Yeah. He's got the mullet. That's all he needs.
Said that a couple times over the years, complimenting mullets. Big mullet guy.
We have a couple of them here today. I've seen a number of them.
It's the new school trendy haircut, right? Cut, trim up the sides, fade up the sides, give it a little party.
The problem
in the back.
with a mullet, when you have it, it's glorious. It's getting from A to B. It's the in-between. Yes, the awkward stages.
Got to have some well-timed haircuts. Pace it out well.
Yeah, and you got to go away for a little while and come back and reveal it in all its glory.
Level up your hat game. Just like if you're balding, level up your hat game.
Max Johnson rolling out, hits his tight end. Connor Cox hit immediately, picks up maybe 2. I wonder if Max Johnson's dad, Brad Johnson, had a mullet back in his Florida State days. I kind of think he did, if I remember correctly. It was that time frame.
He's a gritty quarterback. I can see it.
I'm sure Mark Richt, back in studio, Max Johnson's uncle, can relay that information to us. He was a quarterback's coach at Florida State when Brad Johnson was there. Of concern for North Carolina fans is that Max Johnson now is the man for the rest of the way here for the Heels. Picks up the low snap. He's in all kinds of trouble, but he has his tailback out of the backfield. Fumble! And NC State has recovered. Caden Fordham forced the fumble. June put it on the carpet. And it's NC State who recovers.
Rolling on the field is a catch.
Check down by Max Johnson. Getting into his true freshman running back. Catches it, makes one move. Ooh, the question now is going to be, did he actually complete that catch? Because yes, he makes that juke move, but I don't know if that ball's ever secured.
Completed catch, fumble, and recovery by the defense is under further review.
Yeah, they'll review this one, Max. Kean Sloan was the one who recovered the fumble, but they're going to make sure that Demont June actually caught the ball.
First glance in that replay, it didn't look like it. We'll see it in real speed here. Checks the ball down.
The question is whether he made a football move.
It definitely never came into his midsection. He never fully tucked it. It's a matter of, okay, did he secure it with both those hands?
See if we can see it any better from this angle. I feel like he secured it, and then that hop step looking to avoid the defender is a football move.
To me, that other angle is the key one.
That's something that's a little vague when you in this game, right? The football move, a move common to the game of football.
Yep, it's very much you got to secure it.
He does, and then I feel like when he sees Fordham coming toward him, that's the football move when he tries to make a juke on him. But A, what do I know? And B, it's not my choice. It's not my call to make.
It's almost as if he brings it inside his body to secure it, and then as part of the move, it immediately goes back out. Like it never really reaches his torso.
So he didn't complete that football move before the ball came out.
This is where it gets into the whole, the call on the field was a catch and a fumble. So there's not indisputable video evidence. It's got to go with the call on the field.
Let's see what Nate Black has to say.
After further review, the pass was incomplete. It's third down.
I think you were right, my man. I think that's exactly why they overturned it.
Yeah, in real time, that end zone camera angle, which is not the angle the ref had. He was on the sideline. That ball, to me, never got into his torso and never was secured. That's a good call by Nate Black and his crew.
So it's 3rd and 8. And Demont June, who dropped a surefire big gain on a pass in the first half, now doesn't have to deal with having a turnover here in the second.
And the big difference now with Max Johnson, he doesn't have the scrambling ability that Gio Lopez had. So if things break down, he's got to find his running back, getting the ball out of his hands quickly. It can't necessarily come from his legs like it would with Lopez.
And that's Goss's running back. NC State brings 5. Look at his legs here. Johnson's going to pick up the first down and a whole lot more before he slides home.
Max Johnson's making me eat my words, but I think that's exactly what NC State thought too, is, hey, we can come after you. We don't have to spy you because we don't think you have the mobility. Well, when they come after you, you don't stay in your rush lanes. Max Johnson does a nice job stepping up in the pocket and taking advantage of the space.
Johnson looking to throw it here. Now he'll run again. Cuts it back outside like a tailback. Lowers his shoulder into a defender.
Back-to-back runs, trying to send a message. This is his last college football game. He's got nothing to rest up for. Lowering the shoulder, a man that's been well-traveled, had to deal with his own injuries. Giving it to the pack a little bit.
32 yards combined now on back-to-back runs. Looking to throw. Finds his man out of the backfield, down to the 40. Was Alex Taylor making the catch.
Nice job by Johnson getting the ball out of his hands. You know, Chris, I remember when we had North Carolina versus Richmond in week 2 and Max Johnson went in there and had some success in that blowout loss versus TCU. I remember asking Freddie Kitchens, was there any, conversation about sticking with Max Johnson long term? There's a lot of a portion of the fan base that thought they should have done that. They stuck with Gio, but he's certainly capable like he's shown here.
Johnson has all kinds of time, trying to force into a tight window to Ship. That one is incomplete. Good coverage by Brian Nelson, the second.
It's an accurate throw, too. Ship's come down with that one a couple times beforehand. If North Carolina's going to unlock this offense, though, it cannot just be the Jordan Ship show. At this point, the North Carolina State or NC State secondary, they know where the ball's going. One of these other playmakers has to get going. 8, Kobe Paysor. Doesn't necessarily have to be deep shots, but there's got to be another receiving threat to stretch this defense.
You've seen Zero get into the action a little bit here. Alex Taylor. Shenard Clower, the true freshman, is in the game as well. Running for his life, Johnson. Tried to pump fake. Again lowers his shoulder and gets what he can. That's going to be about 3 or 4. Now we have all kinds of activity and flags flying. Watch out here. Wolfpack severely outnumbered in this situation, and now North Carolina players coming off the sideline and having to be escorted back to the bench by the coaching staff.
And we'll see on the replay. I think Max Johnson might have tripped on his own or tripped on something on the sideline. I don't even think it was necessarily a push, but then obviously all the extracurriculars after that. That flag came pretty quick, though.
And we're going to let the officials sort this one out. We'll hear from Nate Black.
And again, Johnson's mobility, escaping the pocket. Might not necessarily have like the quick twitch that Lopez has, but the straight line speed showing that off.
After the play was over, personal foul. They hit out of bounds. Defense, number 22. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That will not sit well with the home folks, as you can plainly hear.
And in real time, I thought Johnson just fell over and tripped on his own. Yeah, see, if I'm an NC State fan, there's nothing there. In real time, it looked worse because he trips over and gets towards the edge of the sideline. I guess Vic could have let go a little bit earlier, but you can see the chair and the whiteboard and all that.
Vic is trying to grab him. Actually, Vic kind of ushered him out of bounds and then realized, if I keep going even with my momentum, I'm going to get the call. So he kind of tried to grab Johnson, but
that's one of those that when you're sitting at home, you're saying, does that call happen if it's on NC State's sideline and not North Carolina's sideline?
And the Heels take advantage. A 3-yard run and a 15-yard penalty tacked onto the end of it. Johnson looking for Ship. Instead, it's Paysor. Makes the move back outside. Devon Marshall forces him out, but it'll be another first down.
Excellent job by Max Johnson, hitting his check down on time. If you're not a classic dual threat quarterback, you have to be, and you're a pocket guy, always have to be wary of not only where your check downs are, but getting them the ball on time so they can run after it once they catch it.
Impressive drive here being orchestrated by Max Johnson, coming in for the injured Gio Lopez with both his arm and his legs.
Don't forget about his brother going in motion, the tight end, Jake Johnson.
Oh, that one was almost picked. That was a dangerous pass, and Assad Brown read it. Got there just in time to break it up.
A little wheel route by Davion Goss. They love 37 out of the backfield in the pass-catching game. That's one of those, if you call that route in the middle of the field, I'm sure Johnson puts some air on it, under it and has his running back, run under it. When you're this tight to the goal line and there's only 12 yards to play with, kind of forced to throw that on a back shoulder.
10th play of this drive has started on Carolina's own 14. Goss and Hall both in the game. Johnson fakes, gets it to Hall. Ben Hall looking for somewhere to go, can't find anything, just finds a lot of red jerseys. Talking offensive coordinator Freddie Kitchens this week. Talked about playing in the Alabama-Auburn rivalry, the Iron Bowl, when he was a quarterback at Alabama. And we asked him the difference between that rivalry and this one. And I was surprised to hear him say there's a lot more disrespect in this one. And he meant that in a good way.
Just pure.
These two teams really don't like each other. And I was like, more disrespect than in the Iron Bowl?
Struggling to get lined up. Play clock running down.
Johnson to throw. All kinds of pressure up the middle. Just gets rid of it. Almost a sensational catch by Taylor. Couldn't quite bring it in. Vick in coverage. And Harsh treated Johnson harshly. Pressure right up the middle.
And now Max Johnson's getting up slow. Remember, he had that catastrophic leg injury. Quarterbacks are not hit in practice, so I think it's been a very long time, if ever, that he's tested that leg since he got hurt last year. Trying to give his guy a chance, something to monitor, though. Max Johnson's injury last year, NC State heating things up on him.
Verhoff from 29. Just gets it inside that upright. Carolina adds 3 more. Johnson. His first action in a while. An outstanding drive to put points on the board. The kick from Verhoff, keeping this to within 2 scores now for North Carolina. It's a Carolina team now that's going to have to be without Gio Lopez, their starting quarterback. Max Johnson came in and directed that drive that ended in 3 points for the Heels. And for more on what's going on with Gio Lopez, let's send you down to the field and Ashley Stroline.
Thanks, Chris. Well, the training staff just questionable with a left ankle injury.
I appreciate that, Ashley. So questionable for Gio. And he looked very questionable when we saw him leaving the field earlier with that ankle injury. So if you're a Carolina fan, you got to expect that the senior Max Johnson is going to be carrying you the rest of the way. What's going on with this NC State offense? They've dominated the first half. Second half, 6 plays, 4 yards.
Yeah, I mean, so much of the first quarter was C.J. Bailey's legs. That hasn't been a factor at all. And then North Carolina, to their credit, they've been making the contested plays. Their secondary has been competitive on the outside.
Here's Duke powering his way forward. Good carry on first down before House brings him down, but that's 5.5.
And Duke Scott, to answer your question again, Chris, I mean, he's averaging 5.7 a carry. He's only had 3 attempts. They've done a good job, North Carolina has, at, bottling up Hollywood Smothers. 10 carries, 31 yards. Again, it's been Scott getting the grimy yards and then Bailey scrambling in the first half, getting those rushing yards.
Bailey to throw. Looking over the middle. Rogers drops it.
And man, did he have room to run. He catches that one. He might run for another 20. North Carolina gets mixed up in coverage. There was nobody on Noah Rogers. Transfer from Ohio State, once upon a time the #1 recruit in the state of North Carolina. In 2022, he got ahead of himself here. He probably could sense how open and how much green grass was ahead of him.
3rd down. Bailey rolls the pocket. Throws a strike. That was Teddy Hoffman, the true freshman. Coaching staff said we'd see a little bit more of him.
Seeing the arm talent right there by C.J. Bailey. That was a bullet on the run. Throwing that right at his teammate's face mask, allowing Teddy Hoffman, like you said, the true freshman, to come down with a competitive catch.
7th wide receiver in this game with a catch, now powering forward with Duke. Refusing to go down, and a late flag at the very end of that Duke Scott run. And Nate Black's busy night continues.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, 15-yard penalty, added to the end of the play, automatic first down.
Duke Scott just right up the middle, hits that A-gap hard, and then he's falling forward, carrying Tar Heel defenders. I didn't see the face mask.
It was early, I think. I think it was that first contact at the line of scrimmage. The flag just came in a little bit later. Inside of 2 minutes in this third quarter, this NC State offense, which had fallen asleep through the first 13 minutes of this third quarter, now waking up. Duke Scott again inside the 35. So Scott has been the primary ball carrier on this drive. A little bit more physical.
Even runs like that go such a long way. I mean, that feels like it stopped at the line of scrimmage, and he's fallen forward for 4-yard gain. Keeping yourself and your offense ahead of schedule.
They'll go with Hollywood again now. A little thunder and lightning here. Thinking Scott softened him up a bit. Maybe 3 can hit him for a big gainer. Instead, Bailey will throw. Hollywood stays in the block, so Bailey has time. Incomplete flag again. Well behind the play. Teddy Hoffman was the intended receiver. At this rate, they might as well just leave the flag on the field.
I think they're going to get cost on this.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 21. 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Cost doesn't believe it.
It's Teddy Hoffman on a dig route, and I think we're going to get Caleb Cost tugging his jersey right when he breaks across towards the middle of the field. It's a tall task for this North Carolina secondary. Tar Heels are having to allocate a lot of defenders towards the box, not only to stop the run, but then also spy C.J. Bailey. It's one less defender you have in pass coverage, putting guys like Cost on an island.
First down, the Wolfpack will scrimmage from the 24. Hollywood, nowhere to go. Can't even get back to the line of scrimmage.
It's a great job by Smith Vilbert there. Big defensive end. North Carolina said this is the biggest defensive end I think we faced all season. Number 8 at 6'6", 285. Talked a lot about Melkart Abujade, pass rusher on the other side. Nice play by Vilbert there.
Duke Scott back in for the Wolfpack after a loss of 1. Bailey's going to throw, play action. Beautiful, zip that pass right in there. Grimes makes the catch. Might be just a little bit shy of the first down as Allen again in coverage. How about the heat on that pass?
And an accurate pass too. Right at his face mask.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Pretty good, pretty tight coverage, but better throw beats that coverage.
3 in the books. NC State driving with the lead when we come back for the final stanza. See red here in Raleigh, start of the fourth quarter. And the red zone is where NC State has lived and lived well tonight. They've scored touchdowns every time they've been in the red zone, 4 for 4. And a big reason is that man right there, the 230-pound freshman quarterback. Blocker in front of him. Wilson inside the 5, still pushing the pile, still moving it forward and into the end zone. Touchdown, NC State. Flags are down on the far side of the field. What an effort by Will Wilson. If it stands, it would be Wilson's third touchdown run of the night.
He's got a little burst about him. It's not just the size. That's twice we've seen him burst through that first level. There are 2 flags down on the field, different areas on the North Carolina sideline. One by the line of scrimmage, the other one in the secondary.
There are 3 fouls in the play, all by the defense. Offside, defense, that penalty's declined. Illegal substitution, defense, that penalty's also declined. Result of the play, it's a touchdown. After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness. Defense number 5, that 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
The personal foul will be enforced on the kickoff. The touchdown is good. And NC State quarterbacks on the night, both Wilson and Bailey, 15 carries, 93 yards, and 3 touchdowns combined between the 2 of them. And 8 seconds into this 4th quarter, Vincent puts the 35th point on the night up for the Wolfpack.
Dave Doran once had a guy by the name of Jordan Lynch, floated with the Heisman Trophy there a little bit in Northern Illinois. He mentioned that to our meetings about Will Wilson's got a little bit of that to his game. Can still pass, but man, is he a powerful runner. And the fact that that man is only a true freshman, yet he's running that hard behind an offensive line that's leading the way for him, putting his shoulder down, just more want to from a true freshman quarterback, and his buddies helping him get into the end zone.
How about Justin Jolie showing he's more than just a pass-catching tight end. Look at him here leading the way along with Darius Johnson.
It's a great point. Justin Jolie's making himself some money in this package because he's showing the NFL scouts, I don't mind getting dirty. I'm not just the athlete tight end that can make plays in space. I can get down in the run game as well.
5 touchdown drives on the night of at least 75 yards for NC State. And with the 15 yards, Kotaczynski can just kick this one into the stands if he so chooses. Ashley, what's going on down in the field?
Hey, Chris. Well, I was just over here behind the Wolfpack's bench when Will Wilson came off the field after scoring his 3rd touchdown of the night. All of his teammates wanted to come over and congratulate him like, hey, Will, that's number 3 for you. He was all smiles, talking to his teammates, doing a little dance, talking to the coaching staff. He even interacted with some of the fans that are over here, too, congratulating him on the successful night that he's having.
Yeah, the future is bright with Wilson, the true freshman, and Bailey, the true sophomore, at that quarterback spot. It's a good 1-2 punch.
It's interesting, too, now in the NIL age where you have to compensate your backup
quarterback. There are 2 fouls in the play, one by each team. After the play, personal foul, necessary roughness, kicking team, number 54, receiving team, number 24. Those fouls offset. It's first down.
Now, when Ashley was finishing her report, we did get a look at Dave Doran addressing his team. I think you had to reminding him, let's just keep our cool here. We've got a big lead, having a great night. You see him there?
Rivalry game emotions are obviously high. NC State's got a bowl game in their future. North Carolina, this is their last quarter of football, and for Max Johnson, that's got to be the mindset too. His last quarter of football, at least at this level, in a well-traveled college career, he'd love nothing more than to go out with some productive drives here to end the game.
Complete the ship. Ship gets outside, and 1 in white pushed out by 1 in red. Fordham. Good pickup on first down.
That'll be Ship's 8th catch in the game. Had 8 a week ago as well. He's their guy. Move him around. Plays on the outside. Plays in the slot. Coaches love how his route running's coming along. Really learning how to win with leverage.
Johnson has time. Now off his back foot. Gets it to his receiver right at the yard marker. That was Richardson dragging out Goss. And he's going to be just a little bit shy, so it'll be 3rd down and a yard.
Can you imagine, Chris, going up against the high school offense of C.J. Bailey, Davion Goss, and Jeremiah Smith out wide? The Ohio State receiver. Good luck.
That's why Chaminade Madonna, outside of Fort Lauderdale, down in South Florida, was such a powerhouse in Florida high school football.
It played a factor in why C.J. Bailey, kind of fell to NC State. Wonder if there was a lot of scouts. I didn't follow his recruiting, but look at, he's got all these playmakers. Anyone would be able to succeed. Well, now C.J. Bailey, I mean, he's on a path to, a lot of people viewed him as one of the top quarterbacks in the ACC coming into this year. Got a bright future ahead of him as well.
Goss picked up the 1st down. Now Johnson to throw. That one falls incomplete. Closest one to it was the guard, Daniel King.
They're trying to set up a little screen play there. King trying to get out and block. It's really been all pass game for North Carolina. Really nothing rushing yards so far. 35 on the day, but we're already in the 4th quarter. It really has felt like it's been one-dimensional, and the runs there, when they do call them, are just to keep you honest.
Wolfpack bring 4. So Johnson had time, and he has a receiver. That's his brother Jake. That'll move the sticks once again.
It's usually the action we see with Justin Jolie from NC State, splitting your tight end out wide, matching him up one-on-one.
The big back Ben Hall is in the game, but Carolina will split him out to the top of the screen, so an empty backfield for Johnson here. Now he comes the other way, can't find Johnson. Johnson and Johnson, that time misfiring.
Nice job by that NC State defense, showing pressure, backing out a little bit. It's a defense that's picked up right where they left off a week ago. They felt like the matchup versus Florida State and all the playmakers the Seminoles had a week ago, they met that task and played 4 quarters of complete football. They've carried that over today in this rivalry matchup.
2nd down and 10. Ben Hall stays in the game to play tailback, and he'll stay in the block here to give Johnson a little bit of help. That's a dangerous pass, and it's picked off by Fordham. No, now they say incomplete. Fordham is pleading his case.
It's an incomplete pass.
But the line judge has come in and said, no, it hit the ground. That was into triple coverage, Max.
Yeah, if it wasn't Fordham, it would have been Tristan Teasdale, the safety, 19. Rarely do you see a defender argue this much with the ref if they truly caught it. Let's see. Does a nice job. Ooh, did he catch that with his knees at the end? He twists his body underneath the ball so the ball doesn't hit the ground. He's right there. Then his chest is underneath the ball. Hasn't touched the ground. Hasn't touched the ground. Then he clamps it with his knees.
Right there. It looks like right there. It's close.
That play is under further review.
I think he really believes that it didn't touch the ground, but I think the tip of the football bounced off the turf. That last view was the best view I think we're going to get of it, and they're obviously reviewing this one.
And in college football, you can still have, the ball can still move and you can still have control.
Watch it when he gets to his knees, Max. Not yet. Here, watch this.
Right here.
Not yet.
No, the knees clamping.
Right there.
Is he doing his adductor exercises?
Yeah.
To make sure he's clamping that football.
The ball doesn't move, to your point. The ball can hit the ground as long as the ground doesn't cause the ball to move if you have possession of it. So they're going to have to rule that he had possession. And then the ground didn't cause the ball to move, even if it hit it.
The field is upheld. It's 3rd down.
No, incomplete.
Your first reaction is the ref's first reaction. Touches the ground.
Yep.
that can't assist the catch. What a play that would have been. He's got to go back to the weight room, get those adductors going. Or groin, I don't know if it's the right muscle group, Chris. I feel like you'd know better than me.
Max Johnson is going to breathe a sigh of relief. He probably let that one go, and you could speak to this. Like, you let it go, and you think, oh, let me have it on a string and bring that one back.
Right away. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, there was 2 guys waiting to intercept that football.
So a reprieve, but now it's 3rd and 10. Blitz picked up initially. Johnson's going to have to let it go, and he can't. He gets sacked. Flag down behind. Trey Thomas brought him down. Thomas showing his athleticism and speed to track down Johnson. Let's check the marker.
Holding. Offense, number 55. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
Holding call, not accepted. A season high 4 sacks for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, they're going to get Ja'Kai Moore, the right tackle, lined up when Keon Sloan is rushing and Max Johnson breaks the pocket to his right. You get caught, but the rushing and the speed by this NC State front 7 today. You said it, Chris. Initially, they pick up that pressure.
The ruling on the field
they
is
keep
that the
coming.
runner was down by contact. That play is under further review.
Trey Thomas blasted the running back in the hole that was trying to keep him out of the backfield like he was nothing. And this play is under review. I'm not exactly sure what they're reviewing here. Let's take another look. Did the ball come out? The ball came out. That's what they're reviewing. I thought he was down. He certainly landed awkwardly, Max Johnson did.
Yeah, looked like the Gio Lopez land.
Let's make sure, because NC State did end up with the recovery. There comes the flag.
That ball's out.
Oh, yeah, that ball's out. His knee was not down. Neither was his backside.
And that's Sebastian Harsh that picks it up. He probably could have scooped and scored. 54. He's going to come in at the end. Which then is obviously a big field possession situation here if you're getting the ball.
Backside is not down yet. Neither is a knee.
And neither is an elbow.
No, you're right. Yeah, the ball's out. It's a good call for review by the crew.
After further review, the ruling is a fumble with an immediate recovery by the defense. The holding penalty will still be declined. It's 1st down, NC State.
What a play by the whole defensive line. Trey Thomas running Max Johnson down from behind, and then heads up play by Harsh, rushing after that football, getting on it when he was, looks like the only guy that realized that was a fumble.
So on that drive, the interception that Caden Fordham thought he had was overturned, but NC State, the defense forces the turnover anyway in much better field position. Smothers. And he has had a hard time finding running room today. Mims fills the hole. Smothers picks up 2 more. For the back, hoping to go over 1,000 yards on the season today. He isn't anywhere near that number right now. And you see him on the day, just 2.7 average and 32 yards. Came in with 907 on the ground on the season. Quickly outside. Anderson trying to cut it back in. Picks up about 4.
Holding. Offense.
Another flag.
10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
statistician Sean Salisbury's got his abacus over there trying to figure out how many penalties we've had in this game.
A lot in the second half, too.
I mean, an absolute ton. How many total have we had, Sean? 15? Both sides have been guilty. Season high 114 penalty yards against North Carolina. We still have 11.5 minutes left to play. This penalty backs NC State way back. It'll be 2nd and 18. Bailey to throw. Again, quickly gets it out to Grimes. Can he shake a tackler? Cannot. Nice job by Dixon. Limiting the damage. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Talk about the future, too. Grimes is really the only senior receiver out there. The other guys are youngsters. We look at C.J. Bailey and a lot of these sophomore receivers. Joe Lee is obviously a weapon, and he's a senior. A lot of weapons that will grow into what you would think to be some big-time playmakers for the Wolfpack.
Bailey to throw. North Carolina brings pressure, gets it out. Close to the 1st down. I think he's going to be a little bit shy. That was Jackson on the receiving end. Trey Miller did a good job of hanging with him. It's 4th and 2. Looks like a long 2. NC State's going to keep the offense out there.
You have to wonder how much of this is I mean, obviously you're up a lot of points, but you're in no man's land a little bit. This is an extremely long field goal, and it's don't really gain much at all if you punt. So I don't think this is really Dave Doran trying to send a message at all to his rival. It's just him playing ball.
And we get a whistle. NC State calls the timeout before the snap.
Second charge timeout. NC State.
We'll take a quick break. Wolfpack going for it on 4th down when we come back. .35-13 here in Raleigh. NC State facing a 4th down. Don't forget the 3rd annual ACC-SEC Women's Basketball Challenge begins Wednesday. Auburn and Syracuse at 5. Then Thursday night SMU and Arkansas at 7 on the ACC Network. Made the change at quarterback again to bring in Will Wilson. He's the short yardage specialist. He's already scored 3 touchdowns on the day on the ground. Staying with him, easily picks up that 1st down.
It's going to be fascinating to see how that role evolves for that young man as the offseason comes about. C.J. Bailey's obviously a top-tier ACC quarterback, but Wilson's been a factor on every single 3rd and 4th and short in this ball game.
Back to Bailey and Smothers. Out to Hoffman. That's a backward pass. He wants to run it. Now he's in all kinds of trouble. Man, just tuck that ball away.
So I said 2 plays ago that Doran wasn't trying to send a message in a rivalry game up big. That is the exact opposite. That's trying to put it away and make no mistake about it. Who dominated this football game, calling a trick play, up this many points, only 8:39 left in the game.
I was kind of hoping I could see what kind of an arm Teddy Hoffman had.
I feel like from afar, that trick play needs to go on the back burner for about 5 years so people forget about it. Nowadays, it's so obvious to see the backwards pass. And when you're throwing it to the away sideline, they can just yell double pass.
Down inside the 20, not quite a 1st down. Anderson on the receiving end. The one thing in the past, if you're really good at that, you bounce it. Now, back in the days of the AstroTurf, you could bounce the backward pass and it would skip right up into the hands of the receiver or the would-be passer.
When I was in high school, we did 2 bounce passes. We grew up in the suburbs of Seattle. We made it to SportsCenter top 10 in a high school game once. The bounce pass to help us win the state title game.
Right. If you're a truly skilled quarterback like you were,
exactly.
You could bounce that thing right and get the perfect spin right back into the arms of the would-be passer. Another short yardage pickup and conversion on 3rd down.
The key on that, though, Chris, is quarterback, you got to sell it. So when you skip it, you got to get
annoyed at yourself. Yeah.
And then so the DN stops running. Gosh dang it, Max. Why'd you do that? That's how you fool him.
Wilson might want to work on that because being more of a running quarterback, he could sell that that the pass was not very good.
It's only a matter of time, and maybe it's happened this year. I just haven't seen the footage where he brings in the Tim Tebow jump pass. It's only a matter of time before that's in Wilson's repertoire.
Back to Bailey with a fresh set of downs. Bailey rolls. He's got Jolie in front of him. He's going to use him as a blocker. Ducks back inside the 10.
I mean it. Justin Jolie's making himself some money by how much he's blocking in this game. A willing blocker, fighting for his quarterback. Talked about C.J. Bailey's legs and the impact he has, but Jolie in this 2025 season has become the complete package at tight end.
Jolie coming into the game leading ACC tight ends in receptions per game and touchdowns for a tight end with 6 through the air. Play clock winding down. Wilson inside the 5, all the way down to the goal line. We'll mark him down at the 2. Some pushing and shoving. Hats falling off. Now flags coming out. Some frustration for this North Carolina defense that has been on the field for a long time tonight. That's Bayer, Mekhi Bayer.
Result of the play is a first down. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 7. Offense, number 75. It's both first of the game. First down.
House and Carter. The offsetting penalties, so they'll mark it down.
The unsportsmanlike conduct foul for North Carolina is on number 4, his first of the game.
It was not House, it was Bayer. There's a look at Anthony Carter, who looks as big as a house. Peak, Carter, Grant, Jackson, and Anderson across the front. There's a lot of girth. They have been making holes for these quarterbacks, running the football all night long, including this guy right here. You know what's coming. Wilson, number 4 on the night.
There has been no answer for this package from NC State and Will Wilson. Said it coming into this game that the strength of the Carolina team was their defensive line. Well, Will Wilson did not get that message because the offensive line has been pushing the defensive line all over this part, and they've been incredibly efficient in the red zone tonight.
Fine set adds the point. 42-13. What a night for that man right there in this Wolfpack offense.
Led by Justin Jolie, leading way for his young quarterback, Will Wilson. Down to the 1-yard line, and then we all know what's up next. Right behind the big boys up front. Wolfpack up big against their rival.
ACC Primetime Football is presented by ServPro, the #1 choice in cleanup and restoration.
NC State's 42 points tonight, the most they've scored against North Carolina since 2003. 47-34 win. Will Smith has been the big story tonight. Both he and C.J. Bailey definitely guiding this Wolfpack offense and doing it with their legs. 4 touchdowns, 115 yards on the ground between the two of them, and all 4 touchdowns coming from Wilson. Of course, there's another flag, this one on a kickoff.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team. By rule, the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
And we'll take a quick break. 5:34 left to go. All Wolfpack here in Raleigh. Third annual ACC SEC Men's Basketball Challenge begins this week. Tuesday's doubleheader, Oklahoma, Wake Forest at 7, then Georgia, Florida State. That's the Hugh Durham Bowl. Wednesday, BC hosts LSU, followed by Mississippi State, Georgia Tech. Both are right here on the ACC Network, and of course, rolling on the ESPN app. North Carolina starting this drive with Ben Hall, the big back. Fired up about 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. They got a Torrey Newkirk in at quarterback for North Carolina. And Newkirk here to throw. Pump fake. Just overshoots his intended receiver. That's Nathan Leacock. So North Carolina getting some players involved off the bench.
They got a brand new backfield. This is the first time in this matchup in a long time that the North Carolina offense has not featured a future NFL starter. I mean, you had Drake May there for 3 years, Omarion Hampton last year, now with the Chargers. Different look for the Tar Heels this year.
Hall. Hard to bring down. Began his career at Michigan and of North Cobb High School in Kennesaw, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta.
So many new players on this North Carolina roster. It'll be interesting to see what they do in the next month ahead. We got the signing day next week for the high school class, which North Carolina has one of the largest classes in the country. So much was made of all the new faces they had this year. I'd imagine a lot of turnover again in year 2 as they try to get this thing right.
Newkirk, good pass. Pacor on the catch. They had 70 new players this year. 70. 30 freshmen, 40 transfers. And they're going to have a big number of new players next year.
And year 2, that's the pivotal year. Year 1, you're given a longer leash. It's about growth and development and all that. But year 2 is critical. And this month of December with the early signing day, and then as you prepare for the transfer portal, I think the month of December is more important than the next 7 months to follow, just because what you do in these 4 weeks from a roster building standpoint set up your entire season in 2026.
Newkirk pulls it down. It's Pacor again, trying to get outside with a stiff arm, and does. Picks up a first down.
Pacor was one of those guys that was a carryover from Mac Brown's staff. 5th-year senior, playing his last college football game.
The drought for North Carolina in terms of winning an ACC continues. Their last ACC championship, 1980, when Dick Crum was the head coach. Ben Hall, and he is a cement truck.
Both these quarterbacks will be interesting to track in the offseason. C.J. Bailey, I think, looking towards next year, will be one of the top quarterbacks in the entire country, not just the ACC, just from his skill set. And then Gio Lopez, hopefully that injury is not anything significant, because if that's significant and it's I don't want to speculate, but a miss a spring ball situation, that could set you back. Remember, Gio Lopez didn't have spring ball last year with this program, so that'd be vital for him.
Staying with Hall. Hall up the middle. Showing some quick feet as well, getting inside the 20. In your mind, like what do both Lopez and Bailey, what do they have to do to make that next jump to get to the level that you're talking about as the top quarterback in the conference.
Yeah, I think for Lopez, it's just, again, sticking in this same system. I feel like he had a lot of growth this past month, got a lot better, and if he got some more playmakers around him, I think he'd level up. For CJ Bailey, all the talent's there. It's just a matter of can you be in full command and get your weapons, get your playmakers the ball as we take a break. Wolfpack up big.
Carolina facing a 2nd down and 4 coming out of the 2-minute timeout inside the red zone. Don't forget, ACC Championship coming your way next Saturday in Charlotte. ACC PM crew is going to be there Friday at 4 o'clock for a 2-hour show here on the ACC Network. Newkirk to throw. Pressure coming. Try to get it to his tight end Johnson. Overshoots him in the end zone. Good coverage that time by Ronnie Royal.
Great coverage. Ronnie Royals, guys that have played a lot of football this year for banged up NC State secondary. The redshirt freshman.
Newkirk with an empty backfield. Design quarterback draw. Got a great block in front of him inside the 5. 1st and goal for the Eels.
Newkirk's fired up, got the rushing attempt, and rightfully so. I don't blame him for being fired up. He just happened to get up and celebrate right in the NC State defender's face.
Now under center, North Carolina looking to move quickly. They're going to hand it to Jalen McGill, who will get stuffed. The crowd appreciates the effort from several backups on this NC State defense. Timeout called by North Carolina as we've reached 1:31 left to go. First time out of this 2nd half for the Tar Heels. Let's take a look at some of the scores of big-time importance that the Huddle Final Score crew is going to talk about here coming up. Virginia, no problem with Virginia Tech. So not only do they win that rivalry in the Commonwealth, but they solidify a spot in next weekend's ACC Championship game. The other big game that we're looking at right now is a game that was back and forth, man. Cal is leading SMU by 10 right now. Early 4th quarter, SMU has the ball and driving near midfield. That one, again, underscores how difficult making that trip out. Now, it's not that long of a trip for SMU relative to the East Coast teams, but still going out there to the Bay Area, it just doesn't seem to ever be easy for these teams.
And the team that's watching that is Duke at the very bottom. So Duke is in because they won today, and Pitt lost. Pitt lost, and if SMU were to lose, that's their scenario where Duke would be in, which is very interesting on a national perspective because Duke is 7-5. 3 of those losses coming out of conference. So there's a world where Duke could be playing for an ACC title, and the conference would be at jeopardy of maybe getting leapfrogged by one of the non-Power 4 conferences.
Newkirk into the end zone as a wide open receiver for the score. Jordan Owens snuck around the edge, and the defense lost him, and Newkirk's fired up as he found the tight end for the touchdown.
A nice little wheel route, delayed wheel route into the flat. Good job by Newkirk taking his eyes to the left. Forget that the tight end can leak out towards the right. Jordan Owens, usually they're blocking tight end. You can see why because of his big frame, gets in for 6.
And it looks like Carolina is going to keep the offense out there to go for Dos. Brought to you by Dos Equis. Newkirk. He and Ship just weren't quite on the same page. And that probably is because they don't really practice very much together during the week, do they?
Yeah, what a 3rd-string quarterback is strictly scout team. You see Jordan Ship. Can't tell if he's chirping at NC State fans or the North Carolina sections close by as well. Obviously from the state of North Carolina, but yeah, 3rd-string quarterback, you're not even thinking about 1st-team reps during a game week, practice week.
Torrey Newkirk getting the congratulations from his teammates on a drive well done, finishing with a score. Here's a look at Max Johnson. Played well in relief tonight, finishing up his career here in Chapel Hill, or over in Chapel Hill, which is about 25 miles from where we are right now.
Very impressive career. He's had 3 different stops at LSU, Texas A&M, and then now North Carolina. Battled back from that injury when I think a lot of guys would have hung up the cleats. His team needed him in multiple games this season, TCU being one. This was another. When he looks back on his college career, I'm sure it didn't go the way that he would have hoped, but he's got a lot to be proud of for how he handled himself throughout all the adversity.
Sure, it's a proud moment for Coach Ritt, his uncle, in studio back in Bristol. We're going to send it off to Kelsey's crew, the Huddle Final Score crew. They'll wrap things up as soon as we wrap things up here. They're going to keep a keen eye on what's going on out in Berkeley, with SMU trailing by 10, needing to win that game to secure a spot in next Saturday's ACC championship game. If they lose, Duke will be heading to play Virginia.
How about Tony Elliott? We had them week 1.
Also, when you think about Tony Elliott as NC State corrals the onside kick, the faith that Virginia has had in Tony Elliott over the last few years.
Yeah.
To stick with him, building the program, doing it the right way, and all the fruits of that now coming to the fore as he takes the Cavaliers to the ACC championship game.
And I think that's the test for every athletic director out there is, you know, when I played 10 years ago, it was win and loss record, right? It was very black and white whether or not you would retain a coach for the most part. Now it's on athletic director to really gauge, does your head coach, even if you're losing games, have the pulse of the locker room? And are you motivating guys to get better and improve? The answer for Tony Elliott in Virginia is obviously yes. But now in college football with so much turnover and you can flip your roster in one off season, you know, a team that can go 4-8 can go 8-4 just like that.
Colson Fields carrying the ball. And again, pushing and shoving, flags. Caden Fordham, his last time playing against UNC, team captain, had a heck of a game, and his season will continue in NC State's bowl game as they are bowl eligible for the 6th straight year and the 10th in Dave Doran's 13 seasons in Raleigh.
Caden's been so valuable to this team. Remember, they lost Sean Brown, their star linebacker, early on in the season. So Caden Fordham coming back from an injury. That's tough in itself, coming back from an ACL. Had to carry more of the load for a front seven that was banged up all season long. Back seven.
After the play was necessary roughness. Defense number 94. 15-yard penalty at the end of the play. First down. This penalty includes a 10 seconds infraction, which will set the game clock to 1 minute. The game clock will start on my signal.
Ethan Rhodes coming in the game now for NC State. Clock running inside a minute. Fields testing the middle of that North Carolina defense, picks up a couple. And NC State will have to snap it one more time. And this will be the 5th straight win in this series for the Wolfpack. And for Dave Doran. He becomes the only coach to ever do it himself 5 times. They've won 5 in a row, but it was over the course of 2 different coaches. Fields with the final play of of this great rivalry.
Season full of many ups and downs for NC State. What a way to cap it off, though. Impressive, too. You know, end of October, you get blown out at Pittsburgh. You get blown out versus Miami. But to respond with a convincing win versus a ranked Georgia Tech and then a very skilled Florida State team, and then against your rival, end this season on a high note. Excited about a bowl game ahead.
Yeah, it's a great point you make. They win 3 out of 4 coming down the stretch here.
It could have got ugly with the injuries they had, and you're thin on offensive line. That could have taken a downward spiral, but it didn't.
Let's send it down to Ashley Stroline.
Thanks, Chris. Well, Coach Doran, 5 straight wins in your rivalry matchup against North Carolina. But what does a win like tonight mean for you and this program?
Tonight's about the seniors, so I'm first of all really thankful to the players for how they played for those guys and their last night in this stadium. The fans were awesome. The players showed up. It was a dominating performance, you know, so I'm really proud of the guys.
And speaking of players showing up, how about the freshman here, Will? What can you say about his performance?
We talked today. I said impose your will on him. We started laughing when I said that. That's what he did.
Well, Will, speaking of imposing your will, 4 rushing touchdowns. What went into your performance tonight?
First and foremost, just want to give glory to God for allowing me to take the field with my brothers and get a win for them. That was for the seniors. That was for the seniors right there.
And you're just a freshman, but getting a chance to see what this rivalry means and to maybe one day be a senior playing like you did for your brothers tonight. Sure thing. You're a freshman, but you got a chance to experience this rivalry tonight. Send your seniors home with a win in their final rivalry game. What does that mean for you?
It means everything. That's what it's about. It's not about us. It's not about individuals. It's about our brothers, you know. You know, just sending them out with a dub in the last game of Carter-Finley. That's a blessing, yeah.
All right, appreciate it, Will. Appreciate it, Coach. Go enjoy the win.
Hey, Chancellor Hal, turn the red light on, big man.
I don't even know what that means, but I love it. Love it.
Got the rivalry win.
Yep.
Telling the boss man to light up something.
Mm-hmm. And he makes the call when you get the dub against North Carolina. There's no question about that. Future is bright with C.J. Bailey and Will Wilson. Dominant performance by the Wolfpack tonight. Now they'll look forward to see where they're going bowling come bowl season. Lots to talk about in the league. We're going to send you to the Huddle crew to cover it all coming up next. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back in. Let's do some more rivalry games, including NC State hosting North Carolina on senior night. Wolfpack looking good for 5 straight wins over the Tar Heels, and they start off with Wesley Grimes finding the end zone, Coach.
You know what? Little tunnel screen. The guy does a great job of sticking his foot in the ground, getting vertical for the TD.
Then it's Will Wilson in at quarterback for this TD. NC State jumps out to a 14-0 lead. Gio Lopez here to Jordan Shipp.
Yeah, that connection was strong all day. Jordan Shipp had a great performance.
It seemed like he was doing everything every time.
Oh, all over.
Then, fake here from NC State. Wolfpack not done yet. Same drive on the doorstep, and it's Wilson again, Luke.
Yeah, the true freshman. He is an absolute bowling ball.
NC State up 21-7. It's 21-10 here.
Oh!
Watch this. Gregory Smith III.
This catch was freaky good.
Marched short of the end zone, but I mean, who cares? Because that was really nice. Brings up first and goal. Then it's C.J. Bailey to Justin Jolie.
C.J. is so smooth. That cat is something else.
And then Wilson in at quarterback again.
Look at this.
Put the big hammer in.
Push him in.
Look at that.
Push him.
Love
Third
it.
touchdown of the game for Wilson. NC State leads 35-13. And watch this. 4th touchdown of the game, Luke.
I'm telling you. And you know it's coming and you can't do anything about it.
NC State wins
Carolina
42-19.